Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are viewing around here in Thailand. And it's a different view behind me, isn't it, compared to the normal view of the coconut trees behind me. So yeah, I'll just wait for a few more people. Oh, we've got 3 in the house already, so thank you very much for joining early. I've managed to get everything switched on 5 minutes before we're due to go live. I tested it earlier on this afternoon with regard to, because I'm just working off the internet from my telephones, I just wanted to make sure it was strong enough. And a couple of people came on and said, yes, it was strong enough. So here we are. We're going to give it a go. So 3 o'clock, we're due to start. Hello, Les. How are you today? Okay, thanks very much, Bill. Always a pleasure to do the live streams. I enjoy doing them, and as I say, this is your chance or everybody else's chance to be able to ask any questions that they want. And as I say, for those people who are just joining in, this isn't the site. I'm at the wife's farm up here in Karat, and we're here for about a week or so. So yeah, we traveled up from Rayong yesterday to here. Normally 7 hours or 6-7 hours, but it took 8 hours yesterday because there was a couple of accidents that we passed, and I'll go on about the accidents a little bit later on. So yeah, retired and living the dream. Here we are in Karat. So again, this is the chance of your chance to ask whatever questions you want, and I'll answer to the best of my knowledge. And if I can't answer the questions that you want, then I can direct you or pass you on to somebody that can. I've lived here now for over 12 years, and so I know a little bit about living in Thailand, the ways around various systems for your visas and stuff like that. I can give guidance on health insurance, and if you haven't got the funds for health insurance, ways and means of how not get around the system, but how you can look upon it in a different way and still have some peace of mind with regard to your health issues and things like that. So again, these are the questions that I can ask, so feel free to ask whatever questions you want. And for those people who want to ask a question, put a capital Q at the beginning of your questions, and then as I'm reading the comments coming down here, then I can have a look at it, and then I can answer, because then I know it's a question as opposed to 1 or 2 people having a talk in between. Good afternoon, David. Got to love Thailand. Now, there's a guy that's good at live streams. He has 2 live streams a week, and always interesting. He's a gadget man. He's got lots and lots of gadgets, and he's built his own house and things like that. So if you're into fish, he loves his koi carp, and it's a wonderful thing to watch. And again, he's just done a kayak with a motor on it, and it's powered by the solar panels and things like that. and it actually floated it, and it worked. I don't think you caught any fish, Dave, did you? But it was all set up to do some fishing type of thing. Jim Cole's loud and clear. Thanks very much. You're okay, Dave. More than welcome, mate. As I say, it was just like a last-minute thing to come up to Karat. It's the 100-day celebration. A grandma died just over 3 months ago now. So there's a tradition to do a 100-day celebration with the bones. So that's what we've come up here for. We're only here for maybe 4 or 5 days, and then we're back down to Rayong and back to normal. Yeah, not caught any fish yet, Dave Orwell. Fingers crossed that you do. And if you get a big one, have you got a place to put it? If you caught a big fish, Dave, that would probably tow your kayak all the way around the bay anyway. Yeah, so I just did a video with regard to avoid these 5 big mistakes, and you'll have a happy life in Thailand. Just got over 3,000 views on it, which is fantastic. Thanks very much for all those watching it. And we witnessed firsthand yesterday of the atrocious driving that goes on in Thailand. And sadly, 3 people died yesterday. as we were going up the mountain road towards Karat, and it's phenomenal. There was a bus crashed into a couple of lorries the other day and killed 7 people on the bus. And yesterday there was a lorry coming down, and it actually got down the hardest part of the mountain, which is a long steep drive, and it's sort of almost level on level driveway, but sadly he crashed into a car and then veered off the drive, and crashed into some fruit sellers who were on the side of the market and killed 3 of them. Now, early reports, he was saying that he fell asleep. So it's sad that, it's phenomenal. The road that we go up and down, the mountain road towards Karat and Rayong, you can just see the crash barriers are damaged. The screens are all damaged. It is a very, very, very dangerous road. And apparently now they're going to stop these double-decker buses going from Karat down into Pattaya and Rayong on this dangerous road. So yesterday, we seen it maybe happened an hour before we got there, because there was big traffic hold-ups and things like that. Not a very pleasant thing to see. But again, it just goes to show dangers of driving in Thailand. Anthony, hi mate, been watching for about a month. Enjoy the videos. Thanks very much, Anthony. We're off to the Ubin house on Thursday for 4 days with the family. Oh, well, enjoy, David. Enjoy, mate. Glad that you're always busy. You're always a busy guy. You've always got something going on. Just like me, really. I don't understand these people who say when they're bored, they've got nothing to do. I haven't got enough hours in the day sometimes to fill in everything. And to say we're here for a week, this is sort of a relaxing week for me. The wife sees the family as well, which is good. So she spends some, and this is my domain here. I've got the 2 dogs here, the work dogs or the family dogs that are on the farm. Every time I come, I always give them scraps from me food and stuff like that, and they love me for it. And they come and sit with me all the time. Lovely dogs, very, very friendly and happy dogs. So, right. So, yes, and yesterday, you might see a few little thunderclouds over there starting to build up now. What a fantastic thunderstorm last night. It was great. I mean, I love thunderstorms, but the wind was really, really howling yesterday. And the lightning, it was just like photographers' lightning just flashing like that all the time in the background. And some really, really big claps of thunder, which meant it was very, very close. It's just fun to see. Ploy's dad was on his own over in the house, because that's where Ploy's mum and dad live, just over there. So this is how close they are to. This is Ploy's house where I'm sat now, and then Ploy's mum and dad just live over there in another little house. But Ploy's mum was with Ploy, and her brother's daughter they were all in our living room, because it really, really was blowing a gale last night. And with the thunder, they're scared of it. I'm not scared of it. I love to see a good thunderstorm. I was sat outside here watching it with the wind blowing. Then when the rain came, it was torrential rain. So that's the only time that I went in. But you can't beat a good thunderstorm, can you? So what's been going on in Thailand? Are we all ready for those people who want to come back to Thailand? With regard to May the 1st, you've got to fill in the online TM6, which has sparked a little bit of controversy, because you could be not even let onto the plane to come to Thailand if you haven't filled it in. They reckon there's going to be trouble for the next 6 months or so with regard to filling it in. I just think when they scrapped the TM6 where you had to fill it in by card, I don't think anything was missed because of that. 6 months, nobody, no information was lost, I would think, because we've all got the biometric strips and our passport and things like that now, so everybody knows where we are. So I just think it's a little bit of bureaucracy and a bit of extra paperwork, but it can cause some problems. And the 300 baht tax that they were going to charge, that's been put on hold for the time being. And the tax system. Maybe as people have seen one of my tax videos, I did a tax video with regard to my personal situation and two personal situations of two friends of mine, how much tax they had to pay. If you haven't seen it, go and have a look at it. Again, every person that has to pay tax, or every individual, is different. So some will have to pay tax and some won't. But that system still isn't sorted out yet. So therefore, it's still in the dark and people don't know for sure. But my own personal circumstances, I'm okay with the tax. I don't even have to get a TIN number. I don't have to get I don't even have to submit my tax details, as long as I can prove mine is a government pension from the UK, and that's that as well. And none of, I'll get my teeth out. And another big one, frozen pensions from the UK. So if you are in receipt of a state pension, you come and live in Thailand, your pension will be frozen at that rate because it's not a reciprocal country. But I have news on that. And it's still an ongoing situation. Remember, I did a couple of videos with regards to ways of getting around the system where you can actually get your frozen pension by going living in the Philippines for 6 months. Well, I've had one brave soul who's actually done that, and he's back now in Thailand. And sadly, the tax people, Department of Work and Pensions, have frozen his pension back to the pre-existing pension that he had before he went to the Philippines. So he contacted me and he showed me the emails that he'd actually wrote to the Department of Work and Pensions and the phone calls, etc., etc., etc. And they also assured him that he would get and maintain the new rate once he came back to Thailand. But again, Department of Work and Pensions, no. And so I've sort of took the bull by the horns and tried to help him the best I can, because when all said and done, he followed my advice and my recommendations, because I've been told by numerous people at the Department of Work and Pensions this was the case. And again, the guy in question, he actually rang up the Department of Work and Pensions, spoke to the people, and they also assured him that he would be able to claim the new rise once he'd left the Philippines. But guess what? Somebody from up high turned around and says, no, you're not getting it, because we think you're only going to live there on a permanent state so you could get the rise, so we're not going to give you it, which is totally against their rules. So I spent an hour the other day talking on the telephone to the Department of Work and Pensions, and I was passed from pillar to post. And at one stage, the argument got a little bit heated. And I said to the lady, I said, listen, you're the person, you are the department that's supposed to have all the answers and to be able to help people like me and give me a definitive answer as to what I can get and what I can't get. And your definitive answer before was that, yes, I'd get it. But now, I said, a friend of mine, I said, and she jumped in straight away. She said, I can't comment on somebody else's case. She said, I can only give you what is enforced now, up, at this present moment. So she went away, talked to two colleagues, and her whole attitude changed totally. Now I've got the conversation recorded, and I'm going to do another video about this, and I'm just still waiting for the final outcome from my friend who contacted the Department of Work and Pensions again. Then I'll do the full video on that. And I think we're a bit of a pioneer. Me and the other guy who's actually done the system, he's the pioneer. He took the risk and went to the Philippines, and hopefully he's going to get a good result out of it next week. Now he came back in January, and they told him that he was going to get the rise, but here we are now in halfway through April, and he still hasn't got the rise. And he's wrote another email to them, which just got put into file and put no action required. So they didn't even have the courtesy to ring him back or email him back and say he wasn't going to get nothing. So when he rang him up again on April the 2nd, she said, I can see no further actions being put on, but no reason as to why no further actions. She said, in my opinion, you are entitled to the rise. So that was April the 2nd. And he rang up on last Friday, and they said, oh, I'll have to look into this for you. I mean, how many people does it take? You know, and jumping back to my conversation to the lady who told me that I would get it because I qualified to do that by living in the reciprocal country for 6 months, I would get the rise and it would be maintained but frozen at that rate until I got back to Thailand. I said, can you give me it in writing? She said, no, we can't give you it in writing. I said, well, where does it say in the literature? She says, it doesn't say that. It's just general literature. I said, well, who makes the decision then? And she said, I don't know, she said. So she didn't know. So there isn't a definitive, if you do this, A, B, C, D, you will get the rise for whatever period. It sounds as if it's just up to whoever's deciding at the end of the day whether you're going to get the rise or whether you don't, which is totally ridiculous, isn't it? As they make the rules up as they go along. But hopefully, fingers crossed, this may be next week the pinnacle of what's been going on for so many months, over 6 months now. And hopefully this is the opening of the floodgates, because once they've allowed one individual to do it, and it's using their laws, and it's, you know, there's no bending the laws here, and there's no trying to jackknife the situation, if you like, and force them to do it. This is their rules. This is their rules that we're living by. So you should be able to get it. But it's like everything else, they're just trying to avoid paying everybody the money, because there's 500,000 frozen pensions in the world from people who are living in different countries, not reciprocal country, so their pensions have been frozen. And how much is this gentleman going to get extra every week? £41. So not a huge amount of money, is it? £41 a week, and they've been umming and ahhing and delaying everything for 3 months now, which is criminal, isn't it? But yet, if they wanted their money, they dock the money off you straight away. So leave your comments down below what you think about that, and does the pension situation alter your view on the pensions? And if there is a way of doing it, and there is, by God, the Philippines are a reciprocal country, would you consider doing it? I say £41 a week for 10 years amounts up to just over £20,000. That's looking at the bigger picture. £21,000 in your pocket is far better than being in the government pocket, isn't it? Anyway, that's just my thoughts on it. It's an ongoing situation, and away we go. Let's see how we go. Hopefully, fingers crossed, next week I can give everybody the good news and the ways, and maybe some costs of how much it cost this gentleman to live in the Philippines and what his costs were to live there for 6 months. Now, he's married to a Thai lady and he lives in Thailand, but he actually was a brave guy to actually go ahead and do it. So thank you very much. Scott Green, evening. Scott Green, how was your sister doing? She's doing okay. Thankfully, for those people who didn't know, I went back to the UK last year because my sister was diagnosed with lung cancer, and it's a year in May, June time when she had the operation. So yeah, it was July the 5th I went over there. So it's nearly a year, and she's recovering pretty well. She had the scan done the other day, but she had an infection in her lungs, so it just lit up or something. So it wasn't conclusive to say that it's 100% gone. But they seem to think that it was just an infection. So she's gone for another scan this week, Thursday or Friday, and so it'll be another week or 2 weeks before she can get the results from that. But fingers crossed, you know, it's the good news type of thing. But again, she still smokes, but she doesn't smoke as many as she does. So all those people who say she should quit, me included, but hey ho, that's the way it goes, isn't it? Some people, can't quit totally, can they? So Yeah, let's have a look, see what else is going on, see where any questions. Banners, let's have a look. Yes, okay, let's go on from that. Okay, so that's the good news from me sister. Thankfully, hopefully she's going to make a full recovery, and she's going on a holiday in June to Malta. Normally she just goes England, but she went to Malta last year and she liked it, so she's going to Malta again this year for 2 weeks, which is good, isn't it? It's very hot and humid this time of year. I've got a fan in the background there just blowing on me just gently, because it's super hot in the country, and employee's farmhouse or in her house, she hasn't got air conditioning, so it's very hot and sticky on the night, even though we've just got a couple of fans. But thankfully we're sort of used to not having air conditioning in the bedroom anyway, although we bought brand new air conditioning in our house in Rayong, and we just have it on for half an hour just to cool the room down. We're back into the conditions that we were before now, where you go to bed and it's hot and sticky, and we just have 2 fans. But again, we're sort of used to that. The wife doesn't like the air conditioning anyway, so we only have it on for half an hour just to cool the room down. But boy, for 2 months now we've had the air conditioning, and what a difference it does on an evening just to cool that room down. Where you go to bed now here, we did last night, although I was tired because of the drive. It took us 8 hours to drive here. I was tired yesterday and I fell asleep pretty well, but it's very hot and sticky. And it's hot and sticky. You can see the thunder clouds now, and there's a bit of rumbling of thunder in the background now. So yeah, looks like we're going to have another thunderstorm tonight. Yeah, so it's hot and sticky. This is the hottest time of the year. Again, on the video that I did about the 5 things to avoid when coming to Thailand and thinking about heat stroke. For us foreigners who are not used to this type of heat, certainly English and maybe people who live in hotter climates could probably cope with it a lot better than those like Australia and something like that, in parts of America. But in England, for us, it's very, very hot and sticky and sweaty, and heat stroke can be a problem. So you've got to keep yourself hydrated, plenty of fluids, not alcohol, not Leo or your Singer or your Chang, because that helps you sweat anyway, and you lose a lot more fluid, so you become more dehydrated by drinking beer. So you got to drink plenty of water. Simon, hi Les, loving the channel, great information. I was in Saltburn for a work and saw the red car sign and immediately thought of you. Keep up the good work. Yeah, thanks very much. Saltburn is a lovely place. I like Saltburn. Yeah, you must be up in the sticks running all day down here. You must be up in the raining all day down here in Chonburi. All right, okay. So we left the rain behind there, but a big thunderstorm happened last night over here. Have you been to Vietnam, Les? Yes, I've been to Vietnam and love Vietnam. Fat Boy Slim, great video channel and always very informative. Thank you, Les, for sharing with us. No problem whatsoever. Again, I'm mindful of information. Again, I try to help everybody. I've helped people relocate here, negotiate around the visas and the medical insurance and other ways of getting around, not getting around the system, but thinking in a different direction. And I'll come on to that in a little while. Scott, with regard to being Vietnam, lovely. I traveled from the southern Vietnam right up to the northern Vietnam by train and bus, and I just loved Vietnam. I could have lived in Vietnam. I loved it that much. It was beautiful. But I've got to say, on my round the world trip, one of the best places I have ever been to, and I recommend anybody and everybody to go. It's the most jaw-droppingly, stunningly beautiful location in the world, is Sapa in Vietnam. That's right up the mountains in North Thailand, North Vietnam, and you get to it by sleeper train, Hanoi, and it's stunningly beautiful. So if anybody's ever going to go to Vietnam, go and have a look at Sapa. Stunningly beautiful. it has the wow effect and wow factor totally. And I've been all around the world on me round the world trip. I can feel the wind getting up now. Can you see now? There we go. It's getting very, very dark. So we might have a storm. You might see a few flashes of lightning behind me. All right, let's have a look. Whoops. Oh, there's the wind coming as well. Is Thailand getting expensive? I don't think so, no. Now, I live on a budget, and my budget now is around about 60,000 baht a month. It was 50, but I've upped it now because I've got a couple of pay rises and my pensions. So we're about 60,000 baht a month that we live on, which is about 1,400 pounds. You can live, I think I live quite a good lifestyle here, a far better lifestyle here on that amount of money than I could ever afford in the UK. You know, so for those people who've just joined us late, this is, I'm at Ploy's farm up in Karat. So it's not the usual background, is it, when I do my live streams in Rayong. So we're actually at Ploy's farm in Karat, which is some 6 hours normally, but yesterday it took us 8 hours. So that's why the background looks a little bit different. So yes, Thailand getting expensive. I don't think it's getting expensive, no. It's like everything else. Everything goes up in price over time. But 5%, I think it's about 3 to 5% inflation at the minute here. 3 to 5% of a small amount isn't a large amount of money anyway, when all said and done. But 3 to 5% on a large amount of money, you know, for buying groceries and food products in England, it's going to cost more. 5% of a lot is a lot. 5% of not a lot isn't a lot, if you get my drift. So with regard to, I don't think it's expensive. If you eat Western food, then it's going to be a little bit more expensive than normal. But if you eat Thai food, which I love Thai food, you can keep the prices down. I think our food bill a month is less than 15,000 baht a month, which is about £350 a month, our food bill. Our electricity bill last month, because we just had the new air conditioning put in, and although we only have it on for maybe half an hour in bedroom just to cool it down, our electricity bill this month was £12.50, which isn't a lot. £12.50 for the month, not for a week, for the month. So energy bills in the UK, the highest, apparently they're the highest amount in the world for people for paying for energy costs, which is crazy, isn't it? And Ed Miliband, lovely Ed Miliband, and his, you know, goal for zero emissions throughout everything is making everything much, much more expensive. The UK, they're trying to be the world leaders at the forefront of energy emissions and things like that. When you've got countries like China and India, even if we went down to net zero, all of these other countries are still going to be polluting the atmosphere. It's crazy, but the British are paying for it. The British at the minute are paying for everything, which is stupid, isn't it? But that's me political head. I could go on for hours for that, and I don't want to go and down that rabbit hole, because I could go down there forever. Electric and gas in the UK is so expensive, cannot afford to the heating on. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Standing charge without putting anything on is a fortune. Again, well, there's no standing charge here. There's no standing charge. My water bill last month was £5 for my water bill. We don't have main sewerage where we are, so it's like a septic tank. And what it does, he just goes into a thing, and we get it emptied once a year, which is £10 to get it emptied once a year, which isn't expensive, is it? And a big lorry comes in and sucks it all up, and then cleans the tank out, and then that's it done for another year or 2 years. So living expenses here in Thailand is super cheap. The house that I was living at, and those people watching the videos knows the layout of the house, 12,000 baht a month. 12,000 baht a month, 250, maybe £260 a month for a nice 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom in the country, 5 minutes drive from the beach. what could you get for 250, 280 a month back in the UK, America, Australia? You'd be lucky to get a garage for that amount of money. Again, I've just helped a guy relocate to Thailand, and again, I did a couple of houses. What the size of houses that you get for 4 or 5 bedroom house in Ban Chang and Rayong for like 35,000, like £800 a month, less than $1,000 a month. You can get a big 4 or 5 bedroomed house with its own swimming pool, and another house maybe it's not with their own swimming pool for 30,000 baht a month, but a communal pool. And then the house they eventually moved into, which I didn't do the video on because it was private really, because that's the house they decided he was going to have. And that was 30,000 baht a month. And that was a 4-bedroomed, 3-bathroomed house on a gated community with a communal pool. Beautiful house, you know, all fully furnished as well. The only things you had to buy is bedding and cutlery and knives and forks and stuff like that. So it wasn't a big deal. But it's just remarkably cheap in comparison to the Western countries living here in Thailand. Yeah, New Zealand's expensive as well, but not as expensive as Australia. When I visited New Zealand for 3 months, it was much cheaper than Australia. I was in Australia for 2 months, and wow, I paid double the amount of money for everything in Australia. Okay, Sydney, it was the most expensive place I've been to around the world. Because we were there between Christmas and New Year, I was paying £120 a night in a hostel, not in a hotel, in a hostel. Okay, it was a private room for me and my wife, but it was still £120 a night to live in a hostel in Sydney, in Kingstown, Kings something like that, you know, which is sort of a little bit of dubious area, so I was told, and I seen it was a little bit of a dubious area once we left. I too like Thai food, but was shocked by how much the dishes have so much palm sugar. How are you able to continue eating Thai food with so much added sugar? Yeah, well, that's just the way it is. My wife, when she cooks me Thai food at home, we have them little sugar sticks because I'm always up and down with my weight, so I'm 0 calorie for everything. So I've got the 0 calorie sugar. So when my wife does cooking Thai food here, she puts my 0 calorie sugar in, which helps immensely, because the amount of sugar that is put in Thai food, and you're correct, every way they put sugar in absolutely everything. So that's just the way it goes, you know, but it's just beautiful. But yeah, they do put a lot of sugar in everything over here. Would it be easy for me to find and buy my medication for blood pressure there? Absolutely, no problem whatsoever. King's Cross, that's the one, yeah. King's Cross, Red Light District, Sydney. That's where I stayed for almost a month. 120, and that was 15 years ago as well. That was 15 years ago. Medication in Thailand with regard, and I've had this question many times, and I've had a few emails asking for specific medication for various problems whatsoever. And I was speaking to the hospital in the Bangkok Rayong hospital, which is the top hospital in Rayong, and they said as long as you have a doctor's prescription of what medication you have, you still have to go and see a Thai doctor, and then once he sees the letter of explanation why you're on that particular medication, he will then write a prescription for the same medication. It might not be exactly the same, but brands are different brands, but you'll get almost, if not the same medication that you would get in your home country. And once you've got it on the prescription from a Thai doctor, then you can go and get it repeated every single month. A majority of times you can just get it from a normal pharmacy. As long as you've got the prescription set up with the pharmacy, they can order it in for you every month. So medication is no problem. I'll give you a specific example. A number of years ago, when I returned back to Thailand from England, I had an ear infection, and my doctor did the test and he said, oh, it's a very severe ear infection. He said, I'll give you the results within a week. And I was going back to Japan, to China, and then back to Thailand. So I was away for 6 weeks altogether before I got back to Thailand. A week later, I was in Japan and I got the email from my doctor, and he said it's a very bad infection. This is the medication. It's a very, very strong medication. So I went to the Japanese pharmacy, and they said, "Oh, you need to see a doctor before we can give you that." And long story short, it was going to charge me £150 in Japan to go and see a doctor. I said, "Oh, I'm in China next week. I'll go to China, and you'll get the medication there." Went to China, same thing. Went to the pharmacy. They said, "Oh no, you need to see a doctor before we give you that." "How much is it to see a doctor?" £100 in China. Okay. So came back to, I didn't pay £100 to go and see. I think, oh, I'm back in Thailand in another 2 weeks. So altogether it was 6 weeks, which is very painful, uncomfortable, but I wasn't prepared to pay £150 to go and see a doctor. So I went to Thailand, went to the first pharmacy that I came to at the time. I was living in Pattaya, and I said, "This is the medication I want." And she says, how much do you want? How many do you want? How many packets do you want? No need to see a doctor, because I had the proof from my doctor in the UK. This is what I need. How many tablets do you want? So yeah, don't be afraid. You can get anything and everything almost in Thailand with regard to medication. I stayed in King's Cross back in 1999. Was a mad place. All been cleaned up now. Yeah, I mean, I liked Australia. I liked Australia when I was there, but it was just mad expensive. And I've got to say, I found the Asian countries much happier, much friendlier places, and much more to see, because I think in the Western world, it's a gadget. You've got to have the iPhone, you've got to have the fast cars, the nice cars, the houses, and all the bling that goes with it. Where in Asian countries, I mean, look here, this is my mother-in-law's father-in-law's farm. The truck there is 20 years old. He's made his own trailer, and just behind there, he's got his own tractor. And this is attached to Ploy's house. And this is a roof extension that goes all the way along the side of the house. Her dad did the whole work for the roof extension. The whole roof extension, including materials, was 20,000 baht. It cost you 20,000 baht just for somebody to come along and look at it and give you the sign off. The building regulations people, they have their money's worth as well. Look, they'll come and inspect it before you put the concrete pours in. When you put the concrete pours in, it'll cost you that just in administration costs. Where here, everything is so cheap. When we built the lake, her dad did all of this roof extension as well, because before there used to be like an old house here, so he just filled all that in with the spoil that came from the lake. And this gate here, her dad made that gate. 10,000 baht. It's about just short of 6 foot tall. Maybe it's about 15, 16 feet long. And he did all that. He's very, very clever. He's a monkey see, monkey do, and he's very, very good at what he does as well. And again, salt of the earth, Ploy's parents, they really, really are. Very, very nice. So yes, getting anything done here in Thailand is far, far cheaper than getting anything done in in the Western countries. In Aussie, by the way, you can agree on the high cost of a survey. Yeah. I mean, again, no building inspectors comes out here. There's sort of none of that. If you want to build your own house, why would you build a house that's going to fall down? Yeah. Scott Green, good place to live in Thailand, Anthony. Yeah, it is. I've lived here for over 12 years now, almost 13 years now, and I wouldn't want to live anywhere else. It's just good. I sing its praises, and I'm very happy to live here. Let me just alter that a little bit. There we go. Looked a little bit dark compared to how it was before. Right, I was in Thailand in February, got the flu, went to the doctors, was over an hour, loads of test bag full of medicine, 75 quid on a Saturday service, second to none. Same with the dentist. Yeah, again, it's so cheap to live. Well, okay, so cheap. It can still be. I've had 2 crowns put in. 1 crown, it cost me 15,000 baht. Then the second crown cost me 12,000 baht. And the attention to detail on the second crown was far, far better to the first crown that I had done. So a crown, 12,000 baht, it's about 270, 280 pounds. Now, some people have said to me there's a flat fee in the UK of about 350 pounds if you get the NHS. But trying to get the NHS in England at the minute is just almost impossible. And another guy who wrote to me and said he had to have a crown, but he couldn't get one as an NHS dentist, so he had to go private, and that cost him £900 for a crown. Visiting a doctor here, to go and get a doctor to have a look at you. And I'll come on to the costs and how you can think outside of the box and save yourself some money and view different things, because I know medical insurance over here is a big subject, and I've got not ways round of it, but ways to think of a different way of thinking. So yeah, going to see a doctor is about a tenner to go and see a doctor here, which is cheap as chips, isn't it? So you can go and see a private doctor for £10. So now, with regard to medical insurance, my medical insurance is up for renewal in the 1st of June. Now, I don't have a lot for medical insurance. I have 700,000 bahts worth of cover on my medical insurance. Now, some people are going to say, oh, that's not enough. You know, you need 1 or 2 or 3, 4 million. But I'm fairly healthy. I don't suffer from anything really. I'm not on any medication at the minute. Everything seems to be, I'm a little bit overweight, but I don't drink a lot. I don't smoke. So therefore, why do I need 2 or 3 million bahts worth of cover? Because at the end of the day, nothing is untoward at the minute. I don't feel any illnesses. If I felt that way, then I would increase my insurance, you know, to cover maybe 1 or 2 million. But at the minute, I'm happy at 700,000. And I think that's sort of a sticking plaster. So if anything goes wrong, then I've got some money. The cost of that to me is 25,000 baht a year for 700,000 bahts worth of cover. I'm 64-year-old. I'm coming to 65. But between 60 and 64, if you've got no previous existing conditions, it's around 25,000 baht. Now, I can find 25,000 baht, no problem, but I couldn't find 700,000. So that's my theory, and that's my logic of working it out. Now, let's just say you have got previous existing conditions and that, which is obviously going to affect your premium. And for some people, and I get this many times on the emails and comments, that because of the previous existing conditions, they're sort of uninsurable, or the insurance is far, far too high. Now, if you've already got a pre-existing condition, you know what's wrong with you and you know what medication, so you just carry on with that medication. So what you could do is, for me, how I look upon it, if you're here on a retirement visa and you have the 800,000 baht in the bank for the retirement visa process, you can use that so to self-insure. So you've got 800,000 baht in the bank, which is 100,000 baht more than what I've got with my insurance. So if you had to dip into that 800,000 for a big operation or something like that, well, so be it. But you can still get your retirement visa even if you spent the whole 800,000, because then you could get a visa agent to do it, and then you're back to your retirement visa the year after, and that costs you maybe 30,000 baht. So you can have 800,000 bahts worth of insurance, if you like, for 30,000 baht a year to get a visa agent to get your visa sorted out. So that's one way of doing it. And the other way of thinking out the box about it is that you can get a body scan from there down to your, all the vital bits, your lungs, your liver, your kidneys, your heart. You can get like a CT scan. That might cost you 30 to 40,000 baht. So let's say £1,000, it's going to cost you 40 or 50,000 baht. But that will detect anything early, what's going on, and being preventative as opposed to reactive is going to save your illnesses anyway, because then you can see what's coming and then you can do something about it. So even if you spend, £1,000, say, every 2 or 3 years, that's preventative. That will let you know what's going to go on in your body. So that's the cheaper way than having insurance. Again, 2 years ago, when I went back to England, I thought I was having a heart attack. So I'd all the scans, and I had a CT scan. I had pains in my chest, and as it turned out, they thought it was a blood clot in my lungs because I've been on the plane and traveling, sat down for 36 hours. As it was, it turned out to be nothing. But thankfully, when I was back in the UK, they gave me a scan. So then, no, my heart's working okay. I've got no sticky veins. I've got no blockages in my veins. So I'm okay for that again. So I was happy with that. I wasn't happy going to the hospital and thinking about it, but I had it done. So that got me into thinking preventative. So why not have a preventative measure going for a body scan every 1 or 2 years, which is affordable, £1,000. That gives sort of peace of mind for a year or 2 years. That covers all the vital organs, your heart, your lungs, your kidneys, and your liver. So if you can't afford insurance, there's other ways of thinking. Okay, it's thinking outside of the box, but it works. Leave your comments down below if you think it's a good idea or a bad idea. Don't let the cost of medical insurance put you off coming to living in Thailand, because when all said and done, I wish I had £1 for every time somebody said to me, Les, you look much healthier here in Thailand than you did on your videos walking around the UK. And I've got to say, I've got to agree. I felt grey and down, and I didn't want to be back in the UK. And everybody's seen a remarkable difference in my whole being and aura when I came back to Thailand and compared to living back in the UK. Thailand, the sun, the good feeling, the feeling of happiness, the cost of living, a lot of your stresses just go away, and stress kills a lot of people nowadays. So therefore, that's the way to do it in my mind. And if it's not Thailand, go and look somewhere else than your home country, because your home country at the minute is costing a fortune, isn't it? Stick your hands up, those people who say they feel better off now than they did 10 years ago. The financial crash in 2008, we're all in it together. We're all in the same boat. We're all going to get out of it. Here we are, 2025. We're all still in the same boat, and it's sinking. Okay, I'm going to have a drink of water because... But that rabbit hole, I could talk about that rabbit hole all day. You can't feel a heart attack or stroke coming up. You won't be able to fly back to the UK. Well, actually, yes, you can. You can feel a heart attack, you can't feel a stroke, but there are telltale signs of a heart attack. It's if you have the scan, they'll see it's all to do with your arteries and your chambers of your heart and things like that. So these can be they can see into your heart, they can see into your veins, they can see if you've got any problems. And I agree with you, heart attack can just come on like that and it can kill you. No idea, because I've dealt with not hundreds, but maybe 30 or 40 heart attacks in my career of working in the fire service. So when I had a searing pain in the center of my chest, and it wasn't a pain that went down your arm, which is synonymous with having a heart attack, but just having a sharp pain in my chest, I did something about it. So many people walk it off and think, oh, it's not me, and they don't want to believe it's a heart attack. Go and get something done at the early stages. A stroke can be caused by many, many things. Again, it's all to do with cholesterol and stuff like that. A stroke, it's just luck when all's said and done. I agree with you, but you can take preventative measures. You can go and get your bloods tested. They can give you an indication of what's going wrong in your body. Doing nothing about it is just, certainly at an earlier age, at a later age, in our ages, 60s and above, well, then you just sort of sticking your head in the sand, and because we're all going to die one day and something is going to kill us. And when we get to this age, 60 plus, 70 plus, things are going to start to go wrong. So that's why you've got to go and get your more checks done than before when you were young and healthy. So I agree with you 100%. Heart attacks and a stroke sometimes just come on like that. But if you know that you're heading in that direction and you can alter something, I mean, look at me, I'm overweight. I know I'm overweight. So now I'm back on the keto diet because I have a trigger of like 105 kilo. Then I'll go back onto the keto diet. But I've always been up and down with my weight all of my life. But I don't drink, and I drink a tiny little bit. I don't drink a lot, and I don't smoke. So there's two things in my favor, because if I was fat, smoked, and drank, then you're just a walking chicken time bomb, aren't you? So again, you know, you've got to look after yourself when you get older, and you're not going to live forever, that's for sure. Answer local hospitals will treat you at the Thai price in rural Isan. Yeah, I've done a couple of videos with regard to public hospitals. Public hospitals are well worth going to. And I've said to my wife straight away, I said, if I ever sick or injured, take me to a public hospital before you take me to the Bangkok Rayong, which you pay 4 times as much for. Again, Kevin Thailand, he was the guy who actually got me into YouTubing, and I've been doing YouTube now for 6 years. So Kevin in Thailand was he was 59 and he was going to get medical insurance when he was 60, but then he was diagnosed with cancer in his neck, cancer or throat cancer, before he even got insured. But sadly, even if he was insured, that wouldn't have saved his life. But you know, we're not immortal. We're all going to die one day of something. So for me, when you get to 65 and above, if you're fairly healthy, you don't need to have 2 or 3 million bahts worth of life or medical insurance. Just go for the cheapest thing. And then you know yourself when you're feeling a little bit unwell and you think, oh, okay, it might be time to up my insurance. I will do that when I'm 65, although I'm 65 this year, but my insurance doesn't go up until my 65th birthday, which is in July. So thankfully, I'm still, even though I'm 65 a month later after my insurance, I'm still classed under 64. So then next year when I'm 65, it goes up from 25 to 30,000. So it's an increase of 5,000 baht a year. And it will be that 30,000 baht a year until I'm 70, and then it'll go up again. So that's not prohibitively expensive, is it? I don't think it is anyway. Yeah, Kevin. So Kevin, as I say, you know, motorbike accidents, car accidents, things like that, you know, every day, we all know how much money we have in our pockets and in our bank, but not one of us knows how long you've got left to live. Nobody, and that's the only one thing that you can't buy out of life. You can't buy extra time, can you? So yeah, take care of yourself. Les, great stream. I'm 52, UK, and you inspire me to make the move. Is it early to get the retirement visa in the country? How much do I need to allow for a reputable agent? Okay, 52. You've got over it's 50 years old before you can get a retirement visa here in Thailand. If you want to use an agent, it's going to cost you 35,000 baht. Now, it's gone up a little bit. A couple of months or so ago, there was a little bit of controversy and the froze bank accounts and all, and that sort of had a knock-on effect. So now it's about the people that I send, the agent that I recommend people go to. I get no kickback from this. It's just a service that I can offer, and I think it's a good guy. So I send people to him, and I'm just happy the fact that I can help people along. So I get no kickback from this. I get no commission for it whatsoever. Just the value in my own mind that I can send people, and this guy can help them out. It's about 35,000, but there are other agents as well in Pattaya that will charge you 60,000 for exactly the same visa. So again, you can save yourself 25, 30,000 baht by going to an agent that I can recommend you, and he's as good as everybody else. And I've been using him now for a couple of years, and before him, I used to use Darren from Key Visa. Now, Darren wasn't the cheapest visa agent, but he certainly knew what he was talking about. But sadly, Darren died of cancer. Another one, he died fairly young of cancer. So we never know when our numbers are up. So yeah, 35,000 baht to you as an agent. And I think the sweet spot is 14 or 1,500 pounds a month. If you've got 14 or 1,500 pounds a month to live on in Thailand, you'll have a good time living in Thailand. But if you like the parties and the alcohol and the entertainment, then you can maybe add another 500 or 600 pounds a month for that. So 1,500 is a sensible lifestyle. 2,000 pounds a month, and you can have a good lifestyle. 2,500 a month, you can have a fantastic lifestyle. Some adverts trying to sell something. Okay, let's have a look at this. Walking is good for you, Les, and good for your health. Yeah, it is, but it's very, very hot there. And I've never really been one for exercises anyway. But I agree with you. I should go for a few more walks along the beach. It's strange how the healthiest people can all of a sudden drop dead out of running at the gym. Now, I have an argument to that with regard to, all of this exercise and physical demands that you put on your body. Your heart's only got so many beats in it, but when you're doing all this physical activities, you're using them beats up. And I know people are going to say, well, your heart's stronger for doing it. Yeah, it is stronger, but you're actually, even if it's strong and healthy, you're still using more beats. But that's my excuse for not doing it. I don't like the gym, never have done, never will do. I'm quite lazy, really. I don't mind doing the gardening, walking and stuff like that, but exercise, it doesn't look fun at all. When you see all of these people running around covered in sweat, and it just doesn't look fun at all. Retired life, no alarm clocks. Look, I don't even wear a watch. Since I retired, I've never had a watch. Hang on, I read something. Oh, there we go. Les, you are making the same mistake as Kevin Thailand did. They won't sell you the insurance once you get the illness. Well, of course they won't. It's an insurance company. But what I'm saying, I've already got the insurance. I've had the insurance now for over 10 years. So I got insurance 2 years after coming here to Thailand. So I've had the insurance for 10 years. And I've been diagnosed with emphysema a couple of years or so ago. And because it wasn't a pre-existing condition, I'm still covered for emphysema now because I've had the insurance for 10 years. So I would say get the insurance out as young as you can, because if you're young, you haven't got these conditions in the first place. So you're already covered. So if you get them in at a later date, most insurance companies have a period where they won't cover you for certain illnesses for the first 6 months or a year. Then after that, you're basically covered for everything. So yeah, take out insurance as early as you can and just keep up the payment like I've done for 10 years. And touch wood, I've never had to make a claim for it in 10 years. So between 20 and 25,000 baht a month for 10 years, not a month, 25,000 baht a year for 10 years. If you say 200,000 baht, but I'm still covered for 800,000. So even if I put that 25,000 baht a month, a year away, I'd only have 200,000 baht anyway, wouldn't it? So it still wouldn't cover me. So no, that's what I'm saying. Take out the insurance as soon as you can. Was that Darren who did? Yeah, Darren who did the powerlifting. Yeah. When I first met Darren, he was like that. He was like a string bean. He was so thin because he used to give the advice at the expats club in Pattaya. So anytime anything to do with the visas, he was there. He was a very, very knowledgeable man, and I liked him. And as I got on pretty well with him, and me and him, I used to send people to him. It was great. Was a shocker. Was Graham died of sudden heart attack. He went from a healthy expat dying operating table during heart surgery. Yeah, well, there you go. It's sad that anybody dies, but again, things like this are going to happen. This is the thing when you're getting old. It doesn't last for very long. Les, you don't have enough coverage for the cancer treatment in Thailand. Okay, so what if I don't get cancer? What if I don't suffer from cancer? Then, you know, I might not have enough cover for a coronary heart where I need stents. One guy, it cost 1.2 million baht to get stents for 3 or 4 stents. 1.2 million baht. He was in hospital for a number of weeks. What if I don't get a heart attack? What if I don't do this? Life is a risk, isn't it? If you cover for all eventualities, you're going to pay a fortune. And I live in a what if. I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. If I need to borrow some money, I've got a credit card that I can borrow a few £1,000s on as a last minute type of thing. But I've got to sit around and say realistic. I'm going to die one day, and everybody knows everybody's going to die one day, sooner or later. And if I get a terminal illness, I'll just stick my hand up and just say, well, I've had 64 up to now. I've had 64 good years. Why would I go back to the UK to prolong my life for another 6 or 12 months? I'll just bite the bullet, give me the medication so I'm not in any pain, and I'll take whatever comes my way. That's just my attitude. That's just the way I believe. I've got away with it, and I've had a good lifestyle up to now. So if I die tomorrow, I die with a smile on my face because I've had a good life. And that's all anybody can ask, really, isn't it? I don't worry about whether I'm going to get cancer. I don't worry whether I'm going to get a heart attack. I don't worry whether I'm going to get liver failure, because why worry about something that you never know until it happens? At the minute, I don't have anything wrong with me. And fingers crossed, long may it last. You have around 2.5 billion heartbeats, and then you have brown bread. Don't exercise. I'll check that box. I like that one, yeah. Get no visa based on retirement in the UK before you arrive, then have 3 months to extend it for a further 12, cheaper than doing it when you get here. Yeah, I mean, there's a number of explanations where you can do the visas. No problem whatsoever. Visas, a lot of people panic and are scared over visas over here. It's simple. It's not difficult to do at all. Let's just book Thailand for 3 weeks. Trying Koh Samui for the first time. 5 days. Jump. Oh, Lamai. Oh, me glasses. Different glasses. I broke my other glasses. So these are Lamai is beautiful. Lamai and Chawang. I fell in love with Koh Samui. That's the island that changed my life many years ago. Because it's changed now. It's much more cosmopolitan, upmarket now, Koh Samui. In fact, we're going to Koh Samui for our Christmas break this year. Koh Samui, there's more to Lamai and Chawang, but they are the two most populated places. But I would say have a look around the whole of Koh Samui. Go to some different beaches, which are much more quieter and much more reserved. I think it's very, very expensive, Lamai and Chawang. I went there maybe 9 or 10 years ago compared to 20 years ago when I first went. And it just changed beyond belief. It's so modern, upmarket now, but boy, do you pay the prices for it as well for that. But anyway, enjoy it. Question, what insurance company do you use? I use Pacific Cross. And I took my insurance out through the Patty Expats Clubs. So if you want a link to that, send me an email. Send me an email to this, and I'll send you the information. And again, I've been with the Expats Clubs for many years. And I believe that you get a discount as well, because the Expats Club, there's hundreds and hundreds of people in the scheme, so therefore you get a bit of a discount as well. So yeah, send me an email to this address, lesliepearson58@yahoo.com, and I'll send you the link to the insurance. Rob your health. The heat will be good for your arthritis. Yeah, I suffer from rheumatoid arthritis, or did do, and then I sort of been in a suspended state, so it just aches every now and then, but not as bad as it did do many years ago. I'd rather spend the last few days looking at the sunrise and sunset in Thailand than be back home in Ireland looking at great rainy skies. 100%, because that'll put you in your box a lot sooner. At least over here, I mean, my sofa, we face the sunrise, so every morning I get up, I have my cup of coffee and I watch the sunrise. It's stunningly beautiful, and it's a beautiful time of the morning. All the birds are singing. It's cool as well, just before the sun gets in right up and heats everything up. It just makes you feel good, that's for sure. And again, today, where I am now, the sunsets over in the countryside is just stunningly beautiful. So yeah, it just makes you feel better living in a warm, sunny, happy country. Majority of people here are happy with what they've got, so there's none of this elitism as to I've got to have the best thing, I've got to have the newest gadgets in here. I mean, as I said before, his truck, 20 years old, he makes his own trailers. Behind there, the only modern thing that he's got there is his tractor. There's a number of broken motorbikes here. His son, my wife's son fixes motorbikes type of thing, so it's interesting looking around at a farmyard because it's got many interesting things to look at. It's lovely around here. I've lived on Koh Samui for 10 years. The very south is quiet and no crazy. Yeah, so well, that's what we're hoping to do, to travel around. I don't want to stop in Lamai or Koh Samui. I forget where the place that we booked up, but it's a place I've never heard before. But it's supposed to be a nice beach. So we'll find out Christmas time anyway. I did my own visa from the start. It was a challenge at the start. Now it's very easy. 3,800 baht a year, multiple entry, 1 day a year out. 1 day out of my life, not a problem. Yeah, again, you can do it. It's easy. It's not difficult. There's a gentleman I know who's got all the right criteria. He's got more than 800,000 baht to put in the bank account. He came here on the 60-day visa, which he can extend for another 30 days. So he ticks all the boxes. And I said to him, listen, come with me and I'll help you get your visa. Put your visa. No, I'm going to get an agent. So we rang the agent up, and the agent is going to charge him 35,000 baht, even though he's putting his own money in. He's putting his own 800,000 baht in the bank to do all the paperwork. 35,000. For a visa, it's 1,900 if you don't have the multi-entry visa. So that's what I'm saying. It's just, for me, it's just throwing 35,000 baht away when he could go and do it himself. But he's aged and he doesn't like the paperwork and stuff like that. So he's got a bit of spare cash so he can go and pay an agent to go and do it. Perhaps I should say, give me 10,000 and I'll come and do all the work for you. But no, then I'll be a visa agent and I'll be working, and I'm not allowed to work here in Thailand. I heard Koh Tao is what Koh Samui was 20 years ago. Yeah, Koh Tao, the death island, that isn't. So many people die in Koh Tao. I don't think I'd like to go to Koh Tao, although I've heard it's stunningly beautiful. Solar is all the information we had over the last few years. Would $3,000 a month pension still be comfortable income in a place like Pattaya? $3,000 a month. Yes, you could have a good lifestyle in Pattaya on $3,000 a month. I take that's US dollars, not Australian dollars. Yeah, you could have a fantastic time with that amount of money. But it's like everything else, you know. We like street food. We like normal food. Our hotels between 1,000 and 1,500 baht a night. You can get some nice hotels for that amount of money. You can pay 5,000 baht a night, but all of them little bits add up. And if you're happy with a comfortable room, as we are, between 1,000 and 1,500 baht, you can have some nice hotel rooms. Again, all my hotels that we stay at, I've done reviews on them. And if it's a bad hotel, then I won't review it. I won't do it. I won't say don't stay in here. I just don't give it the airtime, if you like. But majority, like in Hua Hin, I think we paid about 700-800 baht a night, walking distance to the nighttime market. The bed was super comfortable. The pillows were brilliant. The room was immaculately clean, and walking distance to anywhere, everywhere you want to do for 750 baht a night. Why would you want to pay 3,000 or 4,000 baht? For a comfortable bed. Might be a bit more plusher of a hotel, but save that money for spending. There are ways and means where you can save money on any holiday. I've always lived on a budget, and next year when I get my state pension, I'm going to have another £400 or £500 a month to play around with. Now that's going to be fantastic, because then we'll be on holiday almost every month, because that state pension is good for me. It's just going to be holiday money. Am I going to save it? No, I'm not going to spend it. My belief is, my thing is that when I die, I want to owe the bank £1, because then I know I've spent all my money doing exactly what I want it to do. I've got friends that have a bank book full of zeros, but they haven't been anywhere and done anything. So at least when I go, I've got a head full of memories. Whereas some people, that when they go, they've got a head with no memories, but a bank book full of zeros. I'd sooner have the head full of memories. My wife is taken care of when I pass, so financially wise, she's going to be okay. So she'll never ever have to work again. So we have a lot of fun, as you can see by my videos. We go many places. Again, we're at my wife's farm now. And then in July, we're going to Koh Chang for my birthday. So we're almost every month or 2 months, we're away somewhere. Life, retirement is fantastic. I don't know how people get bored when they're retired. I've always got plenty of things to do. 1 hour and 12 minutes I've been going. Solar, 3,000, yeah, we've answered that one. Any houses available to rent from your landlady? Yes, John, there are a couple. She's just renovated one, and it's done to a high standard, 15,000, literally 2 minutes walk to the beach from this house location. And the second one, it's only been built a year. And again, that's 15, 2 bedroom, 2 bathroom. You've got nice neighbors. 2 of them are English guys who live next door. So yes, there are properties available. Okay, for a 2-bedroom house in rural East, no idea. As I say, I don't live in rural locations, Isan and that. So, but again, between 8,000 and 10,000 baht, I would have said. The more rural it is, the more cheaper it is. And again, as if you're close to shops, towns, or beaches and things like that, the price goes up. But I live, in my mind, a semi-rural location with maybe 8 minutes drive to the beach. Beautiful beach, and we're 15 minutes away from Macro and Lotus. And before we started to buy it, we were renting it for 12,000 baht a month. Fantastic price, isn't it? And that's a semi-rural location in a nice area, full of nice people in a nice village. Agree, you can be the richest man in the world, but you can't take it with you once you pop your clogs. Exactly. So spend it before you pop your clogs. You come into this world with no money, you die in debt, you made a profit. I like that one. I'll use that one later. Yeah, to rent again, like to rent 8,000 to 10,000 baht, I would have said, for a nice 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom house. I mean, Ricky in Isan, have a look at his videos. He's rented a few in Isan. He lives up, I think, Chayapum area, and he's just building a house now. But he's rented a few houses in the Isan area. So Ricky in Thailand, have a look at his videos. But, I mean, if you want to live in, for me, people ask me why did I live in Rayong. Rayong wasn't on my map in the first place. I wanted to live in some tourist locations like your Phuket, your Koh Samuis, your Koh Changs, your islands, the places where all the tourists go. But when you look at the price of houses to rent or to build or to buy, it's so expensive to live in a tourist location. And when I got introduced to Rayong, I said, no, I don't want to live here. It's not a very nice place. People, it's not on the tourist map. Nobody comes here. People go to the island, Koh Samet, and then they leave, and that's it. But the guy convinced me to stay there for 2 weeks. And I stayed there for 2 weeks, and I've been there for almost 12 years now. That's how much I've liked it. Because then, when I've looked around, the beaches are nice. I'm thinking, oh, the beaches are nice. People are friendly. Renting a house is, relatively affordable. Eating out in the restaurants is affordable. So why not live in Rayong? Because beauty fades in time. So if I lived in a stunningly beautiful place, say like Phuket, beautiful views every morning, within a year or so, you just get used to them views, and it's just the same, but you're paying a premium price to see the same view every day. I don't have the best view in the world. Some people maybe disagree with that. I think I've got a lovely view overlooking the coconut trees. I live in a nice rural location for a reasonable price. But I like to live right next to the beach. Of course I would. But then that would cost me a lot more money. But I'm willing. Life is compromise. Just, tick the boxes that's most important to you, and have a look around and be negotiable with what your realistic lifestyle wants to be. You can live in a beautiful area, but boy, that can cost you a lot of money. So why not live in a more affordable area? Then you've got more money to spend in the beautiful areas when you go. That was a sort of long-winded explanation, wasn't it? Okay, 91 people in the house. How many thumbs up? I can't see how many thumbs up I've got in here. So if you like the content, give it a thumbs up. It all helps the YouTube algorithm, as they say. Every little bit helps, everything. Thank you very much for your support. And again, what I've done a few ebooks. Where have I got? Ebooks available. Buy me a coffee, HCPBA, blah, blah, whatever. If you just link onto that type, I've done a few ebooks about living and relocating to Thailand. My channel is free. I don't charge any premiums. I don't have any members. I don't have any Patreon sites and things like that. But again, for those people who want to support the channel and buy me a cup of coffee or something like that, why not buy an ebook? They're only $3, the same price as a cup of coffee. You can buy an ebook. There's loads of information about relocating to Thailand, finding the best places in Thailand. There's loads of keto books on there as well. So I'm adding to them on a sort of monthly basis. So there will be a huge list of various things that you can do. Look at the ebooks, $3, the price of a cup of coffee. I don't think you get anything else better than that. But have a look at that there. Ebooks available. If you go to that, then have a look at the shop and it'll tell you what I've got, all the information. So my channel will always be free. The information that I give is free. If you send me an email, I'll give you the information that I can give you. Or if I can't give you the information, I'll point you into the right direction. That will help people out. For those people who want to have a chat with me, a face-to-face chat on the WhatsApp, then I do charge $10 for that. And if that conversation lasts for an hour or 3 hours, it's still $10. And then you only pay the $10 if you get the information that you want and you're happy with the information. Otherwise, you don't have to pay. And you only pay after the conversation's gone. So even if you don't want to pay, then you don't want to pay. And I've never, ever had any problems. Everybody's always got the information that they require. I'm a mind of information. There are other YouTubers on here charge £45 for a 30-minute consultation with them that you pay in advance. And if they don't give you the information, you paid your £45 already. So for $10, whether it lasts for an hour or 3 hours, ask whatever questions you want. You know, I'm a grown-up guy, so even if you want to ask some personal, intimate questions about Pattaya and Jomtien and Bangkok or something like that, you can ask. I'm the horse's mouth. I can tell you the best ways and things on how to save money and to stop me from getting ripped off. I'm a guy. Ask me the guy questions, I'm trying to say, and I'll give you the guy's answer. So again, that's if you want to do a live, if you want to do a face-to-face chat, no problems whatsoever. So getting back onto where we're going, let's have a look. Udon Thani is nice. Yeah, I went to Udon Thani. Apparently, Udon Thani is the cheapest place to live in Thailand. It's right in the sticks, right up north, and it's okay. How did Dave, the self-employed electrician behind the YouTube channel, The Big Picture, El Panorama, turn his electric skills into a successful online business? You've lost me on that one. Do you get the full fund when someone buys? Yeah, because it's the buy me a coffee link, then the $3 comes to me. Yes, on that. In comparison to if you donate through the YouTube channel, they take a third off. So the YouTube people, they make a fortune. They make more money than everybody else. But then it's a platform that you can do any things. So yeah, I don't agree with the Patreons, and I don't agree with the private member site. What you see is what you get with me. So I don't see why you need to have a private members to get you some extra information. The information is always free and available. If you send me an email, I'll send you the replies back. They say information is power, but I'm more than happy to help other people along and save them some money in the long run as well. In fact, I'll give you a story. There was one guy a number of years ago. I came up with a way of getting around the elite visa, getting almost the same value out of an elite visa, which was 600,000 baht. And by having the contacts that I had, the only thing that you didn't get in comparison to the elite visa was a free limousine to and from the local airport to, like, say, Pattaya or Bangkok. Well, you couldn't even get a chauffeur-driven limousine. You'd only take it to the hotel closest to the airport, which is Bangkok, and fast track through immigration. So then were the only two things that you couldn't get. And for the cost of a 5-year elite visa was 600,000 baht. I suggested to this guy that he could have almost everything that the elite visa gives, and it'll cost 35,000 baht. And I said to him, I'll do that for you for 35,000 baht. And if you like the information, just buy me a cup of coffee. And he sent the reply saying, oh, you've turned into an e-beggar now. I've saved him from 600,000 baht that he would never, ever, ever, ever have got back, to costing him 35,000 baht over a 5-year period. So divide 35 by 5 years, that's how much it was going to cost him every year. So next to nothing, and he called me e-beggar for giving him and saving him over 565,000 baht. I didn't get the cup of coffee off him either. Okay, Isan Man. Major government hospitals have special medical clinics, which are very basically specialist doctors working outside normal hours, but are more normal government rates, but a lot less private. Yep. Thanks very much for that, Isan Man. There are ways and means of doing it, and you can certainly reduce your costs, that's for sure. Dave, other channels, Alpha, Omega, occasionally isn't interesting. There are lots of good channels to watch on here. I think YouTube is a fantastic platform. You can learn many, many things on YouTube. it's a mind of information. People ask me whether I miss the TV here in Thailand, the English TV, and I've got to say 100% definitely not, because I was so disappointed with the TV when I went back to the UK. Basically 10 minutes of program, then 10 minutes of advert, and that's where it went on all. And BBC was dreadful. So all of the program, I like Place in the Sun, I like watching Grand Designs and stuff like that. But basically 10 minutes of program, 10 minutes of adverts, horrible. Well, at least with YouTube, okay, adverts will come on this, I'm sure. But you can click, you can fast forward it, and you don't have to watch 10 minutes of adverts to watch the rest of your programs. So no, my programs are YouTube. You can type in a video, 2 flies walking up a wet window, and there'll be a video on it somewhere. You can type anything you want. Movies, they have a good range of movies as well on YouTube. And I've got Netflix, which I subscribe to watch good quality movies, even though I watch most of them. And they're pretty old. There's not any really up-to-date modern, but I have enough TV. I'm not a big TV person. I'm a news person, so I watch Sky News every day. So no, I don't miss English TV at all. And I'm not a big TV person. I have a 100-inch projector screen and a projector. So when I want to watch a big movie, I put my headphones on because I've got a beautiful surround sound system, but my wife doesn't like it because it makes a lot of noise when I'm watching a war movie or something like that. So I bought me headphones with Bluetooth, and so she doesn't hear anything from it. So that when I have my big movie nights at home, I can watch a 100-inch screen, which is beautiful. And the quality of the projector for 5,000 baht, just over 5,000 baht, is probably better than my TV. And it's a 100-inch screen. And it's an electric screen, which goes up and down by a little button. So the whole cost setup, the screen and the projector, less than 200 pounds. Beautiful. Movie night at your home. And the headphones, they were 5,000 baht as well. They were Sennheiser, which are very, very good quality. And I've had the headphones now for over 5 years. So they're very, very, very good. No, you're not an e-beggar. Thank you. I would say that I'm helpful, but it's nice every now and then. I mean, like, buy me a cup of coffee. I appreciate those people who have bought me a cup of coffee in the past, but they've also got information out as well. And again, I'm a mind full of information, which is all free if somebody wants it. Again, our Isan man, now that you're on here, because I know we've had this conversation before, and I don't know whether you heard the latest with regard to the frozen pensions. We're almost there, matey. We're almost there. The guy, I call him a pioneer because he actually went and lived in the Philippines for 6 months. Although when he returned back from the Philippines, his payment went back down to pre-existing before he went to the Philippines. So now we've been arguing the fact over with the Department of Work and Pensions, and I was on the phone to them for an hour the other day, and his situation is getting looked into again. And behold, the Department of Work and Pensions stuck his file into a file and never looked at it again, said no action to be taken. And he didn't get any response, any email, any phone calls to say why it hasn't been acted on, even though everybody we talked to said he's entitled to it, he's entitled to it. But nobody has actually, signed the agreement to say, okay, you can get the new agreement, you can get the new up rate now. So as of Friday, the last conversation that he had last Friday was that they're going to let him know for sure next week if there's any controversy where he isn't going to get it. But everybody that he's spoken to says, yes, you are entitled to the new rise because you ticked all the criteria and you did what you needed to do. So therefore you should get it. So if that does actually work, he's the pioneer, and I've got to take my hat off to him because he actually did it. It's just sad that the Department of Work and Pensions, even though they told him 100%, they wouldn't give him it in writing. Same as me when I phoned them up the other day for an hour. They wouldn't give me it in writing. But I said, it's no good you telling me this because I've got no concrete proof to say that what you said is what you said. But I now record all the conversations, and I've got a recording of her conversation. And at one stage, it got quite heated. And I said, listen, you're the people that we should be talking to. You're the people with the answers, and you haven't got the answers. So she put me on hold, found out that what I was saying was correct, and her whole attitude changed from being heated to being more calm, saying, yes, you're correct. Yes, this is what you get. This is what the law is now. This is what you should be getting. So again, I'm going to do another video about the gap, but I always remember your little comment, the proof is in the pudding, and the pudding at the minute isn't still being savoured. It's been put on hold. So fingers crossed, Isan Man will have a video out next week telling everybody this works for sure. And because if it works one, then you can use them like a lawyers does as a case example. So fingers crossed that works, because that will change many, many people's lives, or, possibly change many, many people's lives as far as income-wise is concerned. Deer hunting movie, Vietnam War, Robert De Niro. Yeah, again, I watched a good movie the other day, as I say, on YouTube, and it's full of them. It really is good. Have you ever been to Chiang Rai? It's a bit quiet. I like Chiang Rai. Chiang Rai is very nice. Chiang Rai, that's... Okay, yeah. You just... Oh, melon's finished. Oh, all of my wife. She's just been delivering melons.
I talk good. I make people buy.
Oh, okay. Okay. Enjoy. Now we're at the farm. Ploy's been on a mission selling melons. Her dad, amongst many other things, lots of melons. And because they don't have the internet over here, and my internet's just working off my phone, they don't have cable here, and Ploy's into the TikTok and the Facebook messengers for people that are around here. I think she sold 90 kilos of melons today. So her mum and dad are very happy at that. We've come up here and sold 90 kilos of melons. And I've had some melons, and over here, the mango, beautiful soft mangoes. I had 2 of them yesterday, beautiful. So the life on the farm, farm work is the poorest paid work in amongst the country. Well, it is majority of places around the world. But if it wasn't for farmers, then we'd all starve, wouldn't we? And again, Ploy's mum and dad run a 32 rye farm here, grow rice and sweet potatoes, all sorts of fruit and vegetables. They are the salt of the earth people. Very, very nice. Yeah, Skype shuts down very soon, Liz. How do you call the UK numbers? That was it, Skype. I had £1.50 worth of Skype money left, and I knew once Skype closed, that money would be gone. So I used my last £1.50 phoning up the Department of Work and Pensions, and I've now got 30 pence left. So yeah, there are other companies that you can do the same on Skype, and I'm looking into that as well, because I used to use Skype to ring anywhere in the UK, like the doctors, if I had to ring up the doctors, if I had to ring up my sister and something like that. Although we use Messenger, occasionally I used to use Skype, and if I rang my friend up who doesn't have TikTok or Facebook, I ring him on his landline and use Skype. So yeah, I'm looking into that at the minute. There are some companies that operate sort of the same with Skype, but you pay a monthly fee. Now I just want to pay as you go. And Skype was, I was on the phone for an hour talking to the phone number in Newcastle with the tax. 57 minutes it was in total. And I was put on hold for the first 25 minutes before I even got through to talking to an agent, which is frustrating, isn't it? Because you're paying for the phone call, but you're listening to the horrible music. So that was less than £1.50 for over 57 minutes. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll find somewhere that's as good as Skype, and we can do the phone calls like that. Okie dokie. Let's have a look. Right, so what time is it now? It is 4:29, and we've still got 86 people in the house. So has anybody got any other questions? I'm here to answer any questions you want. It's your chance to ask any questions. I'm a mind of information. There must be some other questions that people want to know. I'm told the Microsoft team, but you must register this month. I've actually transferred, or there is something it's called, and I've transferred it over to something, but that was just for the not Timu. No, it wasn't Timu. Timu is like a Lazada, isn't it? I did something, and it says if you transfer all your contact details, but when I had a quick look, I only had a quick look, to be fair, and there was nowhere that you could make a phone call, but it just took all me phone contacts or any of the numbers that I'd rang. So it transferred some of the information. So I'll look into that. That's my next week's, because it's going to shut down, I think, halfway through May. So I've still got a week or 2 weeks before that actually happens. Isan wants to retire in Thailand 5 years' time. 5 years will soon pass, Scott. 5 years. Andrew Taylor, hi Les. Where are some of the better surfing spots? Oh, I don't know. The waves are never really high over here. I took up kite surfing. I was going to take up kite surfing, and when I looked into it, it's not really windy enough to do kite surfing. There's only like 3 months of the year where the winds are strong enough to have kite surfing, because there's 3 beaches where I live. One's 12 kilometers long, the other's 11, the other's 10. So 10, 11 and 12 kilometer long beaches where it's, for me, it's just like, wow, all of that space you can go kite surfing. But kite surfing lessons here were quite expensive. 12,000 baht, like 260, 270 pounds for a 3-day course. And that's a little bit misleading. A 3-day course, it's 2-hour course. So 6 hours for 270 quid. The equipment's quite expensive. I was going to buy second-hand gear for everything, and that was going to cost me 65,000 baht. Because I'm a big guy, I needed a 16, 17 meter kite. So that was quite a sizable kite, and obviously that with a harness and everything else. So I did the lessons for 1 day, and you think 2 hours isn't a long time, but this was the last lesson, or the last 5 minutes of the lesson, and I did something wrong. And I pulled on the bar as I fell over, and pull on the bar gives power to the kite, and it dragged me along the beach at Jomtiem, which is like a sharp sand beach. It's not like flowery sand, it's just like sharp sand, and it grazed all my leg. And I said, oh, don't worry, I'll be here tomorrow. But I couldn't walk for a week. So it just ripped the skin off my leg. And I never did it again after that. I never took it up anymore. And then when I read into it, it says that because of the winds are too light to do kite surfing here. And the waves are never really any good for bodyboarding. I was going to buy a bodyboard. And so I can't think of anywhere that does proper surfing here. So sadly, I don't think it's a surfing place, Thailand. But I could be wrong. Other people might know better than me. Les, are there any crocodiles in Thailand? Yes, there is. They have crocodile farms, and they have monitor lizards here. Monitor lizards are very, very look like prehistoric, very dangerous things they are as well. And yeah, you don't want to argue with one of them. But yeah, crocodile farms. So I would imagine if there's crocodile farms, there's crocodiles. But not that I've never been told to keep out of any places because of crocodiles. We've swum in rivers and we've been in lakes and things like that. If there was any crocodile, then you'd know about it. Jellyfish, there is a jellyfish season here every now and then. Shark attacks, I think there's only been one shark attack, and that was down south in the last 10 years. I think 2 people have died with box jellyfish stings down in Phuket, in that type of area. Whereas we are up north, further up north, I don't think there's ever been any box jellyfish this far north or any shark attacks. So yeah, you're pretty safe. You know, we've been snorkeling many times and never ever feared going snorkeling. Rob, hi Les, we're thinking of moving to Thailand to live in a warmer climate as I have rheumatoid arthritis. My only concern being able to pay for my current medication in Thailand. Well, I don't know how much it would be for your type of medication, but the warmth is going to probably improve your rheumatoid arthritis anyway, and medication isn't expensive over here anyway. So I think it's a combination of most things. Have a look at the cost of experimental living over here. Live over here for 6 months, so it's a little bit longer than the tourist, because everybody that comes over here lives like a tourist for the first 6 to 8 months or something. It's like holiday. You know, you spend more than what you should, and I think 6 to 8 months it calms people down, and then you get a better feeling for going out to eat in the restaurants, eating at home, and like if you're looking at for your medication. I mean, because even one pharmacy compared to another can be a huge price difference. Facinio pharmacist is probably the best, and Facinio in Pattaya, you can almost get any medication from around the world, and if you get a discount card with them, then you can get like some discount on your medication. So come here for 6 months, find out what your medication costs are going to be, because I presume what you're going to say that you get it free on the NHS. Now, if you tell the doctor that you're going to be moving over to Thailand, they'll just delete you. So what you could do is just carry on getting your medication from the NHS in England and get whoever family member to send it across to Thailand for you. But what can happen in that scenario also is that the border security could open up the package and seize medication and charge you a tax on it or a levy on that. So you could end up paying just the same amount of money as what you'd pay for it in a pharmacy. So if you get a doctor's prescription or doctor's letter to say what medication you're on and what it's for and the strength of everything and the trade name, and then you can find out how much it is over here. In fact, if you want, send me an email with the name of the medication that you're on. I'll see what I can do, find out how much it's going to cost for you over here. We have a number of pharmacies now. If it's ultra strong where you can't get it from a pharmacy, then you'd have to go to the hospital, and then they won't give you the price until you've showed all the cost, until you've showed all the letters to say what medication you want and why you want it for. So if it's really strong medication, then you need a doctor's certificate to get it. But if it's just normal medication for rheumatoid arthritis, because I used to take rheumatoid arthritis medication, and I've never had to take it now for quite a lot of years, and that used to cost me £40 a month for the rheumatoid arthritis medication. And I'm in remission now, and I haven't had it. It aches every now and then just to remind me that it's still here, but it's never been as bad as what it was 15 years or so ago when I had it really bad. So yeah, send me an email and I'll have a look at the pharmacy, and if I can't find out for you, I'll let you know. But that's one way of getting around the system. Yeah, like Scott said, Rob, medication is pretty cheap in Thailand. It's not prohibitively expensive. Is anyone using blood pressure meds in Thailand? Yes, I was on blood pressure medication. Yes. But the doctor said to me at the hospital, this is when I was 118 kilos. And the doctor said to me at the hospital, a change in your diet will stop you from taking these blood pressure medication tablets. So that's why I went down from 118 down to 100, and my blood pressure has always been on the high side of normal. So a change in diet, and I've never had to take, like I say, I'm on no medication whatsoever now, not on any medication for rheumatoid arthritis, no medication for high blood pressure. And that's all to do with stress-free living and diet and maintaining my weight. So yeah, if you work a little bit at it, you can save yourself a fortune without having to buy the medication, but you still need to consult your doctor and make sure everything's okay. So yeah, it is possible to do. Insurance, blah, blah, blah. Blood pressure, yeah, as I say, statins are quite expensive. There was one guy I spoke to in again, this is many years ago. He retired over to Pattaya, but he was on statins, and sort of foolishly he said to his doctor, he said, can you give me 9 months supply of statins, because he said, I'm going to go and live in Thailand. And the doctor asked him, are you retiring over there? He said, yeah, I'm going to live there forever. And then the doctor said, because you told me that, he said, I can give you 3 months supply of statins. Then he said, we shall cease in giving you them if you're not living here in the UK. And he just thought, yeah, okay, I can get statins in Thailand. And then he got a shock, because to get the statins or the tablets that he was on, or the same strength of medication, was costing him £100 a month for the statins that he needed here in Thailand. And because he was only just living a little bit above his state pension, that was expensive to him, over £100 a month for his statins. So again, don't be blasé and saying to everybody, the doctors or whatever, I'm leaving England, I'm getting this and that and the other. Take preventative medication, if you like, and make other arrangements that, just say you're going on holiday and something like that, and then your family members can send the medication over to you. So just look at all the options. Scott Green, let's love the fruit in Thailand. It's cheap. Yeah, it is. I mean, again, they were lovely. The mangoes there. We have fruit trees. We have our banana trees. We have cantaloupe. We've got guava. We've got limes. All the trees in our garden back at home. So we do pretty well. Like the wife said, if you're going to plant a tree, why not plant a fruit tree? At least you get something back from it. The bananas, we've got 3 different varieties of bananas. So we have a great big bunch of bananas, which are very cheap over here anyway, but they're just lovely. And to say the melons, my wife brought me some melons over this morning. I put them in the fridge because they taste beautiful when they're cold. Hello from Pattaya. Hello, Pattaya. We were there the other day for Songkran and loved it. Pattaya is it's in a world of its own. Pattaya, we stayed at the Areka Lodge, and they say that the breakfast there was beautiful. It was within walking distance of everywhere that we went to. 2 days of Songkran water fighting was just out of this world. I love the water fighting, so did my wife, and the live bands that we seen was just like phenomenal, all for free. When you get thousands and thousands of happy people, it just makes you feel happy. The music was out of this world, although I can't understand a word that it's singing. When you've got 20 or 30,000 people singing the same song, it's fantastic. Happy people. It really, really was good. So Pattaya, I love Pattaya. It's sort of, you love it or hate it, but for live bands, we went into the Sailor Bar on Soy 8, which it's got to be probably one of the best value places in the whole of Pattaya. The food, I mean, me and the wife had something to eat. I think came to 350 baht for 2 of us, and the meal was lovely. Their cocktails there are 70 baht for a Mai Tai. Mai Tai is my favorite. So 70 baht for a cocktail. Big is about 60 or 70 baht as well. So it's very, very good value. I take statins and used to be more than all the rest put together, but they dropped in price. Now if you're buying from a pharmacy, you need to ask the generic options and compare. Yeah, it's like everything else, prices and prices. You shop around and then you can find out what you pay. Some places are cheaper than others. Some pharmacies are cheaper than others. Hello from Patty. You've done several videos in retirement villages. What's your best recommendations for one that is not a nursing home or assisted living, but has some communal facilities rental? Oh, yeah. Okay, I've looked at the villages. They're not sort of, although I call them assisted living and communal, they are not like the care homes that you get back in the UK or the assisted living homes. They are just like normal residential holiday locations, but they have the facilities of having assisted living. And they're reasonably priced. In my mind, I think they're reasonably priced for what it is. But if you didn't, for instance, where I live in a semi-rural location, and I'm looking at options when I get older where if my wife needs assistance with me, if I ever get to that stage, then the options are you can have a full-time carer, a full-time medically qualified carer at that for 40,000 baht a month, sort of living 40,000 baht a month. If you want somebody just to cook and clean and take care and do the, your washing and, the bodily care, somebody gives you a blanket bath or something like that, for, again, 12 hours to 15 hours a day can be anywhere from 12,000 to 15,000 baht. And, if you get somebody that lives local, you can either have accommodation, but for 12 to 15,000 baht, you can get somebody that's going to take care of you. You don't have to living in assisted living conditions over here. Medical care and help is remarkably cheap. So again, there are many options here, but the assisted living villages that I went, Sunshine International, for 80,000 baht a month, you can have somebody taking care of you 24 hours a day. And, with a swimming pool and accommodation, it's luxury for 80,000 baht a month, far cheaper than it would cost you living anywhere in the Americas, Australias, or the UK. It depends how big your budget is. It depends what you need, but never say never, because when all said and done, when we get older, things change and situations change, and you may need all the extra help. But at least in Thailand, even if you wanted to stay in your own house, it's cheap to get somebody to come and take care of you. I don't want my wife wiping my backside when I get to an age where, I can't do it myself, or I get, incontinence and stuff like that. My worst fear is I've got a friend who's got dementia, but he's got dementia and he changed from not a nice guy. So he's changed from a nice guy to not a nice guy, if you know what I mean. And his wife or his girlfriend pays a high price for staying with him. And I've got to take my hat off to her. She's staying with him, and he's not a very nice guy. And he's the same age as me at 64. And we had our joint 55th birthday party together. He was the life and soul of the party, but now he is very crude and foul-mouthed. He's not the person that I know, but that's all to do with dementia, sadly. But she's not in a position to have any respite because he's not on a big income. So she has to do all of the, when he poos the bed or pees the bed, she's got to change all the beds and something like that. And she's had no respite from this. Whereas, thankfully, I'll be in a bit of better position financially wise. If I ever go that way, I'll be able to afford to pay, so my wife wouldn't have to do all of that cleaning. Although she says, "Oh, don't worry about if you know, I don't mind if you've turned, because we've had many good years before that." She said, "You've been good to me, so I'll be good to you even in your older years." And I said, "No," I said, "For me, I don't want you to have that, burden. I've got the money to be able to pay somebody to go and do it." But I suppose if I get into that situation, and fingers crossed I never ever do, because you look into your future, what might happen, and you can prepare and you can do something about it, which is what I've done. D, looking good, Les. Thanks very much. I feel good as well. As you can see, I'm at my wife's farm. It isn't the normal location from where I used to do it in Rayong. We're up here at the wife's farm for 5 or 6 days. Wife team, but don't you use the Thai style B-day? The bum gun, yes. The bum gun is very good. But if you can't do it yourself, then, your Klingons stay if you don't de-cling on yourself. Thanks, Les. Okay, no problem. Yeah, so that's it. That's many different topics we've talked about. What else can we talk about today? Let me think. Do you know something? My mind's gone blank. I'm usually full of all sorts of things. But yeah, again, your chance to ask any questions. Let's have a look. Banners. If you want to have a look at some ebooks, I've done some ebooks with regard to living and moving over to Thailand. Find where the best place to hang your hammock and stuff like that, and things to look into. Have a look at my videos as well. The last video that I've done has got over 3,000 views on it, and that's to avoid the 5 things when you move over to Thailand, and they're very, very practical and sort of common sense. But you'd be amazed as how many people disobey them rules. Riding a motorbike without a helmet, drinking and driving over here, which is terrible, because at the end of the day, the chances of getting caught by the police here is very, very rare, drinking and driving. So there's a lot of drinking and driving goes on here in Thailand. Just watching some chickens getting chased by other chickens. What time is it now? It is 4:52. So in another hour or so, it will be dark here. But I think the storms are gathering again over there, so I think we might have another good thunderstorm tonight. Do you recommend DIY solar? I'm thinking of doing a small off-grid system. Definitely, I would say yes. What do you view with Hua Hin as a retirement destination? Do we have the flu jab in Thailand? I have been back to the UK 2 weeks, and the wife caught influenza. No, we don't have the flu jab over here. I've been able to see you living the dream. I was recently in Hua Hin for Songkran and had a fantastic time. So I'm okay. Thank you very much. Hua Hin is a retirement destination. Yes, it's upmarket, I think, and it's very, very nice. The traffic is quite busy. The traffic is quite busy, and it's a bit more expensive than where I am. Horses for courses, really. There's a big expat community area in Hua Hin, but it's not as easy to park next to the beach. It's very busy traffic-wise. It's a bit more expensive than other places. But again, go and have a look at it. The king has his holiday home in Hua Hin, so it's very safe and it's very clean and looked after pretty well, really. So Hua Hin is good. Yeah, no problem. With regard to the DIY solar, yes. I mean, I've done a couple of solar videos. I did an emergency backup solar system, which works very, very well. I've got that backup emergency system has been upgraded now, and my solar array set up, so that probably pays for half of my electricity bill. But my electricity bill at the minute, the last one was just over £12.50, which is about 523 baht, I think my last electricity bill was. So that's not expensive, is it? You know, who would love a monthly bill of £12-13 a month? It's fantastic, isn't it? Even in this hot season now. So yes, it's still 7 or 8 years payback if you go for the whole repayment section with regard to if you want to invest your money. I don't look upon it as an investment. I look upon it is, as we're coming into the rainy season now, there's a lot more storms, so the electrics get turned off a lot more because the lightning hits the wires, the electricity goes off. It might go off for 2 or 3 hours. And when it's in this hot temperature, if you sat with nothing to do for 2 or 3 hours, not even a fan, then it can be very uncomfortable. At least with my backup system, that pays for itself over and over many times, because the backup system that we've got and the solar system that we've got, we can watch the TV, we can put the Wi-Fi on, we have fans on there, so we can still do majority of things. We can still plug things in the microwave and do some cooking with the electric, put the kettle on, stuff like that. And you just do without electricity for 2 or 3 hours, and you'd pay the like £700 or £800 it cost me in total to do all the electrics for the solar panels. So yes, it's well worth it. Even if you just have a basic system for 200 quid, for £200 you can get a solar array, a battery, and a charging facility and emergency backup for 200 quid. It's nothing, is it? And that £200 is well worth it. Believe you me, when the power goes off and you don't have a fan to sit in front of. That's why I did the solar panels, because we had no power for 3 hours. And it was like 10 o'clock in the evening, the hottest part. The house was very hot and uncomfortable. And we were sat outside at 10 o'clock at night. No breeze whatsoever, no fan, nothing. So once you've done it once, it's worth every single penny. So yeah, go for it. Go for solar, no problems. Scott Green, Les, can you work and get paid under the table? I'd say no, you can't. No, you can't, because you're taking a risk with doing it. How can I say? I do help people out with the electrics. I do give advice, and I do help them towards that. And they buy me a coffee if you like. But as far as working's concerned, if you get caught working, then it's not worth to be thrown out of this country. So come to this country with enough money to live on without thinking that you've got to do work to earn some money, because in reality, the Thai wages is like 300 or 400 baht a day, maybe certainly no more than 500 for the majority of people. So would you work for 500 baht a day, you know, in this hot climate, this hot weather? No, it's not worth it. So if you're thinking of earning some money over here, I mean, like YouTubing, people say that you can make a lot of money doing YouTube. You know, $100, $150 a month I earn through the YouTube, which isn't an awful lot, is it? You know, 150, 100, on average, about $120 to $130 a month. It's nothing. The amount of time that you put into it. I mean, this YouTube now, we've been doing this for 2 hours. I'll probably make about $10 doing this for 2 hours work. But I enjoy doing it, and it fills my time in as well. So I do it as a hobby, not as a money-making scheme. Avoid the bar girls. If you avoid the bar girls, you can save yourself a lot of money, that's for sure. But I mean, like the bar girls get a lot of, they've got a bad reputation, but it's like everything else. Bad news sells, isn't it? There's a lot of nice bar girls. There's a lot of nice people. There's a lot of nice massage girls. There's good girls and bad girls in any profession, anywhere around the world. So just treat them with respect. And if you feel as if you're getting ripped off, then walk away. Or if you feel as if you're getting treated nicely, then stay. You know, the ball and the decision is in your court at the end of the day. And you know when you're getting ripped off. And there's guys that I know think that they have to impress. If they're with a beautiful Thai girl, they think they have to impress them to be able to keep them. And if you have to try and impress them to keep them, then just walk away, because there will be somebody out there that you don't have to impress as much. Just being a nice person, they just want to be with a nice person. And the people that rip you off are not the people to be with. Honest and genuine people. And if you're an honest and genuine guy, that's what you want at the end of the day. So don't think that you have to impress them to keep them. A lot of these bar girls don't want to be there in the first place, and they'd trade everything to be with just a nice guy, just on a normal income. And there's also the bar girls that want like 40 or 50,000 baht a month off you. Absolutely. How many guys are earning that amount of money, 50 or 60,000 baht a month to give the girl's friend, 40 or 50,000 baht a month. So the ball is in your court. Go with your gut feeling. And if you feel you can get ripped off, walk away, because, famously, my friend on our joint 55th birthday party, he had a girlfriend, I had a girlfriend, and him and his girlfriend at 5 o'clock in the morning were arguing. So they split up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and he jumped on the BART bus to go back to his hotel. 10 minutes later, he was in bed with another girl who we met on the BART bus. And he said, "Do you want to come back with me?" And she said, yes. And so his relationship was finished all a good 10 minutes, and then he was fixed up with somebody else. So, yeah, it can happen. It can happen. Do you consider having a couple of corridors? I don't know what you mean from that. Hello from London. Hello, London. How is it going down in London today? What's the weather like today? Apparently it's quite nice, but London, oh wow, it's so expensive. I couldn't even think about trying to live down in London. I loved it when I travel home. I always fly back to London, then I get on the King's Cross, and I get the train up to Redcar, and it's only 3.5 hours on the train, so it's not too far away. But London is just so expensive. And when I was shocked the last time I was there, I had to wait for 3 hours before I got my train, because it was another £60 if I caught the train 2 hours earlier. But so I got the train at 11 o'clock, so I had to wait for 3 hours, and I saved 60 quid. But I sat in Pret and Manger around near King's Cross Station, and it cost me like £7 for a coffee and a croissant. And these guys, I've seen at least 2 or 3 guys just walk in, get a sandwich off the shelf, and just walk out and just walk away and not even pay. And I'm just thinking, and you see the news all the time, the shops and the stores getting raided all the time with it, shoplifters and stuff like that. The crime in London has gone through the roof. Sadiq Khan, the knife crime, the gun crime, all the crime figures have just shot up, type of thing, and he's doing nothing about it. So I'll take my hat off to you living in London. Have you thought of leaving London and going elsewhere, or is it you work in London because of the job that you do? Hello, Les. Just woke up from my nap after upload a new video. I retired and don't give up. There you go. That's retirement, David. There you go. An afternoon nap. I've not taken that luxury of afternoon naps. I've always been in the belief of I don't need an afternoon nap at all, because once you get into that habit, then you'll always have an afternoon nap. But there's many guys that does have an afternoon nap, but I've never been one of them. I'm up this morning at 7 o'clock, and I'll be in bed tonight at 10. And I don't want to miss any part of it. But enjoy your nap. Is it a problem for a foreigner when he gets a 17-year-old pregnant in Thailand? I don't even want to go there. Yes, is the answer to that. But you're just playing with fire, and the outcome of stuff like that isn't very good. Les, do you own a cat? No, I don't own any pets. We don't own a pet because pets are tying and they can, we pack a suitcase, we go on holiday anytime we want. If you had a cat or a dog or livestock, I'd like chickens, although I don't like eggs. I don't eat eggs. I still like chickens. Watching the chickens run around here is fantastic at the farm. But looking after a dog, I'd love a dog as well. There's 2 dogs sat right next to me here, and they love me coming in because I give them strokes, I give them tidbits and bits of my dinners type of thing. So they stick to me like glue around here. And I love dogs and I love animals and I love cats, but they are so tying. So we just pack the suitcase at a drop of a hat and we can go on holiday tomorrow. And you can't do that when you have your pets. I know there's dog-friendly hotels and stuff like that, but I don't want that hassle. I don't want the hassle of just saying, oh, we need somebody to look after the dog. Goldfish, we had fish at one time. But even then, you go away for 2 weeks. 2 weeks is a long time. We go away for 2 weeks to a month sometimes. So yes, we will never ever have any pets, cats or dogs. So we avoid the scenarios where you need somebody to look after that. And that can be costly as well. When was the last time you went clubbing with bar girls? Why would I go clubbing with bar girls? I've got a wife, so why would I have to go to clubbing with bar girls? But we went out around Pattaya with a wife around Soy 7, Soy 8, where all the bar girls are, because there's a lot of fun there. Just because you sit in a bar full of bar girls, because Pattaya really is one big red light area. So no matter which bar you went, there's bar girls there. So my wife is happy when we go around because we go for something to eat. We have a couple of friends that we meet up every now and then in Pattaya, and we go watch the live bands and stuff like that. So just because you sat with the bar girls doesn't mean to say you have to be with the bar girls. But that's the entertainment zone. Pattaya is one big entertainment zone. So there's no need to. I've never been a clubbing type person anyway. But I was dancing with 3,000 other people at the Central Festival. There was 2 live bands on, and we queued up for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes to get in. We just as they got in, and what a fantastic atmosphere that was last year at the Central World. This year we queued up to get in, and we just couldn't get in. So we went to Starbucks, which overlooked the Central World, and we just stood with amongst hundreds of other people at the top of Starbucks watching it at the live bands that go. So no, it's good. It's good. It's there if you want it, but I'm married. I'm happily married, so there's no need for me to go no need to go down that road. Low birth rates declining and aging population. Average age in 2000 was 29. And it's 40 today. So demographics online mean big scene ends. But that's the same worldwide, isn't it? Population is in decline because of birth rates, because people can't afford to have kids. Will the bar girls still go after you even though you're there with a wife? No, they have total respect for that. They're sort of a rule type thing that they won't bother guys that with other guys, with other girls and things like that. So no, my wife has got nothing to fear. There are some stunningly beautiful girls there, and everybody looks, even my wife looks, and I look. And, we're human beings when all's said and done. Like a lady walks past a shop and there's a beautiful dress or there's a beautiful bag or a beautiful pair of shoes, she's going to look. Same as a guy. If there's some beautiful women there, there's nothing wrong looking. But at the end of the day, it's respect, isn't it? Respect to your wife, that you're not ogling and you're touching or you're doing like that. If you're going to go down that road, then you shouldn't be married. No problem with answering that. As I say, there's we have took guys into Pattaya. This is probably an answer that you're looking for. me and the wife, we've took guys to Pattaya who've been a little bit unsure with regard to how it works in Pattaya. Think they're going to get ripped off, and what's the negotiating skills for the bar girls and things like that. So we've actually taken people to Pattaya, and we've showed them around the ropes on how you talk to the bar girls, what's expected, what the costs. We've took them into go-go bars, and we've also took them into soapy bars. And my wife's been with me all the time as well. So she fully understands the situation and how it works and how it goes on. And she can actually, because she's Thai, she can speak to the Thai girls and find out how much it is. And she finds out more information than what I could find out. And once the guys have been around with me in Ploy for a night or two, although we say we'll go them with 2 nights, after 1 night, it's easy. The game is easy. It's not difficult to play. But if you don't know, then it's intimidating and it can be scary and it can be frightening. But when we take them around Pattaya, we go to LK Metro, we go to Tree Town, we go to the soapy bars and Soy Honey, we go into the go-go bars. And once they've seen how it works, it's not scary or intimidating anymore, because then they're happy at doing that. And that's what we do. We offer the service where they pay 2 nights for us in a hotel. We'll hold them by the hand, if you like, and check them around so they don't get ripped off. Because there are places in the world that you can get ripped off, and I understand that. And America's the same, and Prague and Budapest are the 2 places that I would say. We had a guy that took us around Prague and Budapest, because he said, if you go to this place, you'll pay £45 for a beer and you get ripped off, and it's intimidating. You get threatened by the bouncers and things like that. So some guys think that's going to happen in Pattaya, but it doesn't happen like that at all in Pattaya. It is totally and utterly safe, and you're not going to get ripped off to the same extent that you would do in other other European countries, such as Prague and Budapest. I can say them too, because my friends, a couple of friends, did get ripped off. One guy took 2 girls back to the hotel room, and he caught a taxi with them, and he was telling us all, because if we went out in a group of 6, we'd all stay together, a group of 6. None of us would leave each other alone. And this guy said, I'm going to the hotel with these 2 girls. And we said, you're stupid, you shouldn't be doing that. No, he said, I'm okay, they're lovely, they really are. He said, I've talked to them for an hour. He said, they're beautiful. He said, I'm going with them. And he got held up in the taxi, and a gun was pointed at him, lost his wallet, and he lost his iPhone, lost everything, and he had to walk back home. And talking to him at breakfast, he said, I'm just still glad that I'm alive. He said, I've lost my phone and my wallet and everything, but he said, I'm still alive. So again, when people come to Thailand, they think maybe that's for the first time that's going to happen, but it doesn't. But 1 night in Pattaya, and you know it works. It's not difficult to do. Retire, don't give up. Les and I walk down Walking Street. Oh, yeah. I'll always remember that Dave. As I say, Dave came from Canada, never ever been to Thailand before, and we met him in Pattaya. And his first night in Pattaya, we sat in Walking Street in a ladyboy bar, because it's the only bar that we could find with the seats overlooking the bar. We had a fantastic night, and I told me and Dave had plenty of conversations with regard to, how it works in Thailand, and he is now married to a Thai girl, living up in Pae near Chiang Mai. And I've got to say, Dave, I'd probably say 100% life is good, yeah? I think Dave would agree with that. Life is good. So have a look at his channel. Anyway, Retire, Don't Give Up. He does a YouTube channel as well. And he's just got over 1,000 subscribers now. But again, he'll talk to you. He's a down-to-earth guy. He'll tell you how it is, and ask him the questions, because he's the newbie. I've been here for 12 years, 13 years. He's just been there for a year. So has he made mistakes? Of course he's made mistakes. But he's also not shy to tell people the mistakes that he's made. So have a look at his channel, Retire, Don't Give Up, full of lovely information in his drone flights. So his drone videos are very, very good. Don't remember you holding my hand, but you took care of me on your first trip. I did. We watched the fireworks. We did all sorts of things. I'm frequently surprised to learn how many Thai men and ladies are single. So many single people doesn't help the number of children being born. Thai government should start dating service. Oh, don't tell it, because then they'll end up taxing you. Yeah, retire, don't give up. Yeah, life is good, my friend. Thank you very much for that. Les, you are welcome to visit our house in Ban Sang. Bang Sang, just up the road, yeah. In fact, we're around. There's a guy just relocated from America, and he's working near Ban Chang. So we were having a look at the housing area around Bang Chang and Ban Sang. But Ban Sang, I think, is a much better location than Ban Chang, because it's not as close to the industrial and chemical works. But he did the trip thing, how long it was going to take him to go to work. And from Ban Chang, it's still 41 minutes, where Bang Saray was a bit longer, just over an hour. But one day we'll get into that location and have a look, because that's near Sattahip, and I've never really looked around that area, but it's probably worth a while having a look around there. Do we think the Thai royal family is doing enough for the poor people? I have no idea. No idea. Do you think the royal family in the UK are doing enough for the poor people? We walk in different circles, and again, that's the policy of Thailand. I have no idea how it's working. I just keep my nose clean, do keep me thoughts to myself with regard to how it works over here, because we have no idea how their politics works over here. As a Thai person, has no idea how the politics and the royal family and everything else works back in the UK. So I'm happy with my life. I keep my nose clean. I stick to the law. Everything is happy, without getting into politics with regard to the royal family and things like that. The royal family over here has a less majestic law, where if you slag the royal family off over here, you can go to jail with it. So yeah, so say bad things about the royal family in Thailand and there will be a knock at your door, that's for sure, and you can be spending a long time in the jails if you slag off the royal family over here. So you keep your comments to yourself over here. No royal family should help handicapped people more. Yeah, well, as you know, handicapped people, I think any disabilities, it's a tough time for them, and they should get as much help as they could. But that's not just here in Thailand, it is everywhere. Sadly, there is no infrastructure over here, or social care, social welfare, like there is in the UK. You get nothing here. Family look after you from cradle to grave, and that's how it should be. And if sadly, if you've got ailments, it's your family who will end up doing stuff for you. There's no real care. There's no real no, the infrastructure isn't good. The walkways, the pathways are not pedestrian friendly. So if you're in the wheelchair, it just sucks. It's just, life is so complicated here. Will you hit the gym anytime soon? Absolutely, 100%. Got an answer for that, and that will be definitely 100% no. Not many handicaps on the street to be seen on the streets. Very sad. They are locked at home. They choose to be at home, maybe. I don't know. I don't know about that. It's the way it is, isn't it? And I would say it's the same in the UK. You know, handicaps, people are not very. They're better looked after in the UK than they are over here. I would give you that. But at the end of the day, a disability is a disability, and some places are more fortunate than others to be living. And in Thailand, sadly, if you've got any disability, it's a tough place to live. but they just get on with it. That's just the way it is. And they accept that. There's no woe is me and you should be doing this, you should be doing that, you should be doing the other. Your video quality is very good there, Les. Likely have 5G. Oh, probably, but it's just off my phone, Dave. That's all it is. It's the I got an internet package for my phone, and I'm just thinking, okay, I'll give it a go, and it and it works, and I'm over the moon with it. 2 hours and 24 minutes. That's how long it's been going. So yeah, the quality sounds good. I did a little test earlier on this morning. I was talking to people in New Zealand, and they said, yeah, everything's working okay. The sound quality is good, and the pictures quality is good. So I thought, why not? We only decided on Thursday or Friday that we were coming up here for, it's the celebration of life for my from Ployd's grandma, who died 3 months ago. So after 100 days, there's a celebration of life. So we come up here for that. So we're here for 5 or 6 days. I know, I watched your preview this morning. There wasn't a private section on the StreamYard, so I had to do it live. So I thought, oh, well, I'll give it a go. And instantly, like 3 or 4 guys popped up from New Zealand and said hi. So I sort of could have started the live stream from then, but then I had things to do. Good afternoon, Les. Marco here. I'm happy to see you here live. Really hope we can meet again one day. Greetings from Queensland. Yeah, a good anytime you want. Nathan, resistance training is good for the people 50 plus. I agree that running or too much cardiovascular works out are bad for the joints. Yeah, and especially if you've been overweight all your life, your knee joints have took a hammer anyway. So if you start running and jogging and stuff like that, you're just damaging, the ligaments and the knee joints and the ankle joints, because I've been overweight all my life. So I've never really been that skinny kid ever. Maybe it's when I was at school, but after that, from the age of 18 upwards, I've always been on the chunkier side. So that takes a punishment out on your knees and your ankles and things like that. And also running in this temperature over here, it's just, I've never seen a guy running full of sweat with a happy smiley face. Thailand have 90-day reporting sector and deport people that shouldn't have be here, which proves the UK could do and they don't. Yeah, again, we could get into that argument, that rabbit hole of what the UK and what the, 90-day reporting is nothing to do. You can do it online. I'm due to do it on the 5th of May. I can do it online. I'm up here in Karat. So it takes all of 5 minutes to do it online. So it's nothing to do. But the UK is stupid. £40,000 a year for every single guy or every single person that comes across to the UK on a plastic boat. When's it going to stop? They can't go on this indefinitely because everybody's just going to run out of money. Stupid in the UK. Okay. But again, I could go on that as well. Uh, 100 days after passing away, it's called the bone. Yeah, that's what it is, the bone ceremony. We're going to be doing that this week. European finding quality tropical fruits is a struggle. Well, yeah. Price of everything over here is very reasonable. New guy who weighed 270 kilos. Wow. How often do you go for a massage? I don't really. Me and the wife had a foot massage in Pattaya, and we had a foot massage in Chiang Mai. But no, I don't go for. I'm not really particularly bothered about massages. Funny enough, some guys like it, but I certainly don't like the Thai massage because that hurts. Pulling your joints and things like that. But the oil massages are good. But then with the olden days, but again, the wife's a little bit suspicious if I ever went for an oil massage, because of happy endings and things like that. So rather than putting the doubt in the minds, I don't do that anymore. But I'll go for a foot massage with me and her. Will sit in the chair. We'll discuss and talk to the staff and have a foot massage, which is good. Do you think safety is a concern of Thai people? I think safety is a concern of everybody, no matter who you are in the world. But I feel much safer here than I would ever do walking around in the UK at midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning. Nathan, I went from 16 stone to 14 stone on the carnivore keto diet. Never felt better. Are chickens and red meat expensive over there? No, chicken and pork is very, very cheap over here. The keto diet, I'm a big fan of the keto diet, and I'm on the keto diet now. Very good advice about massages. Yeah, so the keto diet is good. I'm back on the keto diet for, I have a trigger weight of like 105 kilos. And I always put weight on. And I was 101 kilos when I went away for Christmas and New Year. So I knew I was going to put weight on. And then we had a couple of birthdays, and then we had Songkran. So now Songkran's finished and over and done with. And then we don't go away now until July for my birthday. So I'm back on the keto for a good 6 or 8 weeks, and that'll drop me 4 or 5 kilos. And then I can eat and drink whatever I want on my birthday, because my heaviest was 118 kilos and I hated it. And now at 106 kilos, everything's a little bit tighter, and I think, okay, this is the trigger point, time to do something about it. It's much easier to shift 5 or 6 kilos than it is to shift 18 kilos. So the keto diet, I love the keto diet, and it's good. It's easy to do, and it's probably one of the only diets that I've ever been on that you don't feel hungry. The first week is a bit of a chew, because, change your diet, changing your body and things like that. But once you got that first week under your belt, it's easy. 1 meal a day, and it's cheap to do. You can eat whatever you want within the keto diet type of thing, and it's easy enough to do. How would you call a beer over there? A Chang, a Singer, or a Leo? That's what you call the beers over here. And I'm a Chang man myself. Leo, I think, is too sweet. Singer is okay. But back in the UK, I'm a dark beer. I like the Tetley, John Smith's sort of dark beer, whereas over here it's more of a lager beer than. So I don't mind it, but I'm a Chang person myself, and I like the Chang beer. But Leo's too sweet for me. Okay, 2 hours and 32 minutes. What do I miss the most from the UK? Nothing. I don't miss nothing from the UK. And, many people would say, I doubt that, because you must miss something from the UK. No, I don't. I don't miss nothing from the UK at all. Because over here, I've lived here now I've been out of the UK now for 15 years. So I've got used to living elsewhere in the world, different views, different opinions, different scenarios, different situations. And how can I knock Thailand? It's beautiful here. Cost of living is very, very affordable over here. Crime is next to zero, although there's crime everywhere in the world. Affordability is very good. The sun comes out every day. I'm 5 minutes walk from the beach. To go swimming in the sea, it's safe, and it's just like jumping in a bathwater. What is there not to like about living in Thailand? Do I have to follow their rules? Yes, I do. Are the rules hard to live by? No, they're not. It's very, very simple. Keep your nose clean, and everything's good over here. Everything is happy over here. Happy people promote happiness to everybody else. Miserable weather. When I went back in July, 12 days before the sun came out, 12 days in the peak of summer. And the statistics said it was the worst summer last year than it had been for 15 years. Every day, grey day. Over here, the sun's out every day. Even when it rains, it doesn't rain all day. And although we're in the tropical storms area, it doesn't rain for 3 or 4 days on a row. You might get 1 or 2 hours rain a day, and occasionally it might rain all day and drizzle all day, but then the following day the sun will be out and it's beautiful. Yeah, I miss the cold weather in England like yeah. Fish and chips, cream cakes, real beer, walks in the countryside, clean up, crisp air to breathe. Lots to miss about the UK. Fish and chips, I like fish and chips, but I'm not a big fish and chip eater. Cream cakes, my sister always used to give me them. Custard slices and things like that. Custard slices and Chelsea buns were my 2 favourite cakes. Fish and chips, I'm not a big fish eater. Like cod and chips, that was nice. But the twice I've been back to the UK, I refused to pay £12 for fish and chips. 12 quid for fish and chips. No, thank you. So I never had cod and chips when I went back. Chips in the chip shop near my sister's, the chips were beautiful. But that was £2.50 for a portion of chips with scraps. You paid extra for scraps. Real beer, yeah, again, I prefer the UK beer, the Tetleys, the smooth and stuff like that. But I can live with Chang. Walks in the countryside, yes, there are some beautiful walks in the countryside. Beautiful villages and stuff like that. I give you that, but we also have some nice tropical beaches here, and that's beautiful to walk along them as well. Clean and crisp air to breathe. I didn't mind the cold in the UK, especially in the wintertime, as long as it was blue skies. I didn't mind how cold it was with frost on the ground, blue skies. But if it was grey days and cold, then it just made everything miserable. And like the snow always goes slushy. It's not crisp snow like it is in Europe, because I love me skiing as well. So crisp, cold snow is wonderful, but I can live without the cold. So lots of different. I would not miss, but it's different. Again, you could be sat in England, and let's say from October till April, when the clocks go back or whatever, and then it gets dark at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and it doesn't get light until 8:30 the following day. So you're stuck indoors all the time. You can't sit outside. You can't do nothing outside because it's freezing cold, and you have to wear a fleece to go out. Sitting inside with the central heating on under artificial lights is not my idea of fun. Over here, it gets dark between 6 and 7 o'clock every day. There's only, because we live close to the equator, there's only an hour's difference between, summertime and wintertime. 6 o'clock is the earliest, 7 o'clock is the latest. You get to live with that. It's okay, but at least it's warm. Do we think there is enough road safety matters to do with the thing? It could do with some more, that's for certain. They could do with something for certain, yeah. But again, it is Thailand where it is. Love it or hate it, it is what it is. And I did a lot of road safety campaigning in the UK because the station that I worked at was the road traffic accident. We had went to many road traffic accidents, and we used to do campaignings, and I used to have people on my courses that used to steal cars and just drive them around, drag them around, and crash them into the police and crash them into everybody else, and steal cars just as a laugh and a joke. They don't have that here. They don't have that type of crime where joyriders and specifically driving around cars, stealing cars, carjacking and things like that. Does it go on? Yes, it does, but not to the same extent as it does like in the UK. The UK is horrendous. Over here, they're a little bit more lenient, with the speed cameras, and you get caught by the police. For instance, if you get caught by the police here because you've missed the date of reinsuring your car or taxing it, you'll get a fine. Maybe it's 1,000 baht, but it'll be allowed on your way to go home, and you'll have a little note for 7 days. And if you get stopped again within them 7 days, you don't have to pay any more fines. But you have 7 days in which to be able to get your insurance. Now, if you get pulled up in the UK with no insurance or tax or MOT test, the car's impounded. Instantly, you're paying £150 a day to have your car impounded, and the recovery costs and things like that. So it's going to cost you an awful lot more money. And the fact that you're being caught with no insurance is going to put points on your license. So that's going to cost you more. So the motorist pays forever in the UK. It's the hammer down, speeding, traffic light evasion, going into a junction box, things, anything where they can hammer the motorists, they hammer the motorists. And instead of saying, here, there's a note, get yourself home, get your car insured tomorrow, no, they'll impound it. So you can't drive anywhere else. So Thailand is a lot more flexible with regard to that, a lot more lenient over here, and it's great. The UK offers variety, cozy nights in beside the fire during winter, long warm summer evenings with natural light until 10 p.m. Yeah, I agree with that. Cozy nights in. If you don't have a log fire, you just have the central heating, and then you're watching the crap TV. And long cozy nights for 6 months of the year. That's a lot of cozy nights in. I'd sooner have a nice night out with walking around in a t-shirt, having a beer or whatever, in a tropical location than 6 months of cozy nights in. I do like the light nights, 10 o'clock. I've got to say, I used to enjoy them, but it's just something else you get used to, doesn't it? Mr. Don, agree, Les. Yep, again, here we are in April, and it is 5:36 p.m. now at this time. And I've been sat in it, and I've got the fan on, and it's beautiful. It really, I'd sooner be warm. I never, ever, ever want to be cold again. I had so many horrible nights, worried about putting the central heating on because of the cost of putting the heating on. You draft excluders, shut the door, anybody open the door. My sister used to go and have a cigarette, open the patio door and have a cigarette, and all that warm air that she's paid for goes out the bloody door because she opens the patio door so she can stand halfway in and halfway out because she didn't like smoke inside the house. This is a long time ago. But she would never go out, shut the patio door, have a cigarette outside with a jacket on, and then come back in, standing halfway. I mean, I think we all know somebody who does that, even now. Would I consider the UK as a backwards country? No, I wouldn't. No, it is forward thinking. It's a very nice country to live in. It's a very nice country to live in. I benefited from the education that it gave me and the employability that it gave me and the opportunities that it gave me. And the opportunities are there for everybody to take and do. I'm not a clever guy, but I grasped every opportunity and looked at things. And if you're proactive, you can do very well in the UK. And it's still like that now. But where I think the UK has lost its way now is what's happening with all of these people that are coming in and taking advantage of the generosity of the English people, staying in hotels and illegally coming into the UK. It's crazy, and the cost to the taxpayers is phenomenal. And there's a lot of wealthy people getting wealthier because of this situation. There's a rabbit off somewhere, and it's the wealthy people who is making all of this money out of it, and it's the poor people and it's the normal everyday working people that's paying for it. And there'll be a big civil disturbance one day in the UK because the government are there to serve the people. The government aren't listening to the people. For years, people have said, we don't want this, we don't want this, we don't want this. And the government have done nothing about it. Stammer and, I'll break the gangs up. Two-tier Kia. It sickens me every day. There's something new every day. That, the corruption in our politics in the UK is horrendous. That's where the UK has dropped the ball in comparison to other countries. And one day, it's if you run the country like your household, we're in debt. We'll go bankrupt if we carry on the way what they're doing, for no explanation. And my biggest thing with all this lot, there will be civil disturbance, Europe and UK wide. Take it from me, that there'll be somebody somewhere who'll tell all the people that have infiltrated all of these Western countries, European countries, and the UK, they'll turn around and say, today is the day of uprising. Today is the day we take over Europe. We've been invaded by people that wish us harm. But that's my own personal opinion of it. Starmer is a globalist. He's not interested in serving the UK people. He's only advocating the globalist agenda. Yeah, but again, what's the globalist agenda under this? What are they going to gain from all of these immigrants coming in? Apart from the wealthy, again, the wealthy because of the hotels, all the lawyers, who benefits out of all this lot? It's the wealthy people. Not the average everyday working person. They don't benefit from this whatsoever. It's them who are paying for everything. Let's face it. Okay, here we go. This is my view on everything with regard to this. The wealthy people are getting more wealthy on the backs of the poor people who own all the payday loan shops. The wealthy people who don't have the lot of money, so they pay the most to borrow the money. Where the wealthy people charge exorbitant rents for that. The wealthy people can afford to buy the houses which are going to be renting out to all of these immigrants because they've got the money to do it. And they're going to do it. The lefty lawyers, they're making a fortune out of it because they have the contacts. They know the immigrants are always going to come. So it's like a never-ending business because there will always be people coming across the boat. There will also be people, the translators, the company that employs them charge a lot of money. And the list just goes on. Just think one poor person, what does he get out of it? He gets nothing. He just gets put at the back of the list for waiting for the hospital appointments, waiting to go and see a doctor, waiting to go and see a healthcare assistant, waiting to go and see a dentist because the immigrants get pushed forward. They have their own private doctors, their own private dentists, their own healthcare because they're classed as a special case. Why should they wait? And this is all against the people that should be getting all of this lot first. Treat the British people first and then treat the immigrants second. Because would you get put in first position in any of these people's countries? No, you'd get nothing. Nothing. Do unto others as you would do unto yourself. Two things to restore fiscal sanity and oversight. Repeal women's rights to vote. I can't vote in the exempt draft. Well, we're going to vote type of thing. It's a free world. Everybody can have a vote. I live in the UK and miss things. Food isn't used 15, 20 years ago. Ingredients wrapped out of cheaper substitutes. Fish fingers used to be cod, now pollock. Chocolate tastes different. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's it. Everything's different, isn't it? Remember, the Mars bar used to be, and the crunchies and the Easter eggs used to be all big, but now they're all much, much smaller, aren't they? Anyway, we've been doing it now 2 hours and 48 minutes, and I'm going to call that an end of the day now. And thank you very much. It was like a off the cuff live stream that I'm doing at my wife's farm. So thanks very much for all those people who joined us. Thanks very much for the conversation. Thanks very much for the questions. And again, much appreciated. And thank you everybody for joining us. It'll be another couple of weeks and we'll do another one. So hopefully I've better news for everybody next time. Bye for now. When I find the end stream.